All right, I think we're live. I think we're live.
We're live.
That's so epic.
All right, should we start synchronizing some Audacity recording in that case?
Oh, yeah, we probably could do that.
Not a bad idea.
I will start recording.
All right.
Will we go 3, 2, 1, go, or it doesn't matter that much?
It probably won't matter too much, but we can try it on. Keep it close. So we'll do 3, 2, 1, record.
Record. Oh fuck! I've been recording this whole time.
Oh, you're fine.
That's fine.
It's cool. It's cool.
Well, Paul, just know that yours starts around where you start freaking out about that.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, let me go ahead and tweet out that we're live and hanging out.
Oh, chilling.
Retweet. Damn, Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was just going to say I had a moment of confusion because I opened the stream but it wasn't muted, so I heard Kai freaking out about recording twice.
Just recursion.
It just really moved him.
Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start moving Doc Kelly to the B2 sheet that you
Oh,
sent.
yeah.
Oh Christ, that's a really good
I
idea.
should open my character sheet as well.
Sexier sheet. I mean, I don't think you're going to need them too much. We got some people. It's all about vibes.
We
Yeah,
want
it's all about
to
vibes.
tell everybody what my gear and traits are.
We will.
What our
we get,
gear and traits is. Not
when
just mine.
we go through the introduction, we can have character instructions. We can absolutely do that.
All right, I'm gonna go into the FN social media thing. Let everyone know we're live.
Oh, actually, I will also real quick do that in the Witch Chat one.
I'll even go into Supersuit TTRPG nonsense.
Well, are we like as in people can listen to this conversation?
Oh
Or is it,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, all 2 people that are in the stream right now,
Yeah.
hanging out. I think one of
I'm
them.
assuming one of them is you, Luke.
Yeah.
The other ones are best friends. You win. You win streams.
Right.
Yay!
There we go. I don't know what to say. I don't want to do like the script of just like, hey, come fucking check us out. I'm about, but like also I don't know how to vary it each time. Let's go. Fucking like.
Be there or be square.
There we go. I'll just say that. I'm gonna quote you as well.
Be there, be square. Luke Sophia Watson.
Exactly.
All right, cool.
It's good I went for the sort of the PG one because I was gonna say something like "Be there or we'll break your kneecaps."
Or will break your kneecaps.
Is it what's in one
I'll
T?
fucking end you.
In one T. One T.
I won't hesitate.
There we go.
You will die and you will like it.
Crikey.
Well, that implies if they don't come,
Ooh.
or if they do come, they won't like it. So
That's impossible.
yeah, fair.
I was about to make a very, very terrible joke, but
But we're live.
We're live.
we're live.
Cool. Oh, Rebecca
Yeah.
Hansen's hanging out. Be not
Gang.
afraid, Rebecca. What's up? Do you say gang? Gang, gang?
Did you
Yeah.
say be not afraid, Rebeccan?
Rebecca.
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 That's
Rebeccan.
Oh, that fighting game, right? Like, Rebecca.
yeah, Rebecca.
You know what? That one's for free, Rebecca. Be not afraid fighting game. Just
Rebecca.
So good.
Isn't Rebecca a character in Green Horizon? Pretty sure.
Yeah, it is. I think
Yeah.
that's correct. Beckon. I love Tekken actually. I'm going to a fighting game tournament soon and I can't wait to watch the Tekken.
I tried to get good at fucking Guilty Gear, and then
No.
got absolutely destroyed by every single person. I got it for the art because it looked nice, and then everybody was really good. So I
Any
don't play
Arc
anymore.
System game that's like Dragon Ball Fighters, Guilty Gear, and all those,
so
they're
bad.
just dominated by like Japan and Korea. It's insane. They're so.
I only play fighters with my friends, and even then, it's like hardly ever.
Yeah, Eve's the only person I managed to convince to play with me, and then she just didn't have a good time when we were playing. So it's like,
Oh,
great,
no.
I'll play against robots. Fine.
Level 9 CPUs for Smash Bros. That's where I'm at.
I've played Smash like once, and that was many years ago.
I love fighting games. I guess we can go ahead and start. So, Luke, will
Yeah.
you take us away?
Sure thing. So, hello everybody, and welcome to this Session 0 live stream for A New Low, our Maximum Light actual play. I'm joined today by these lovely people, Kai, Greg, Tony, and Samantha. who are going to be joining us for this this little stream, but also the rest of the actual play, where we'll be going through the antics of their ragtag crew. Now, we met some of them already. If any of you were at the Season 3 finale stream for Green Horizon, and you stuck around for the actual play part of that, you'll have met Doc Kelly McStuffin, Greg's character, and Caradog, whose surname escapes me.
Morganwug. It's so easy to say and remember.
It's very simple.
Caradog Morganwug, Kai's character. So, basically today we'll be going through briefly what constitutes maximum light, what the system's about, because it is now available on our itch page in the link somewhere in the description. And also we'll be going through basically what happened last time, if you guys weren't there, and we'll sort of get the ball rolling for this fresh
streaming
story.
every time, or is this a one-time deal?
I think this is a one-time stream. Okay. All the other ones will be available on the Green Horizon feed on Spotify and elsewhere, but they won't be live streams as far as... Well, maybe one or two special ones here and there, but for the most part, they won't be streamed.
I could see special occasional ones. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that might be fun.
Christmas episode.
Christmas special. But that's the one where... Well, actually, I won't spoil what happens at the Christmas special. We have to keep quiet about that one. But at any rate, so if you guys want to, maybe we'll go around. We'll start with Kai and Greg, because you guys were at the finale stream. Introduce yourselves and your characters, and then we'll do Tony and Tata, whose characters will be freshly joining the party yet. And maybe if you could say what you kind of got up to last time as well, that'd be cool, actually.
Who first?
Who first? Go ahead, you go, Kai. You've spoken, so you'll be volunteered.
My deal's kind of related to yours, so...
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
My name is Gwilym Pritchard. I will be playing Caradog Morganwug, who is a delusional sniper, ex-military, who is convinced wholeheartedly that they are going to assassinate the dictator, god emperor, I don't actually know what the official term is, but the dictator of the galaxy, of the sort of...
the Order of Humanity.
I believe it's Great Leader.
Yeah,
the Great Leader, there we go. The Great Leader of the Order of Humanity, Atticus Pallas, and is fully convinced that that's going to happen, and also happens to be quite wealthy, so, it's nice.
Yes, and I'm playing Doc Kelly McStuffin.
Oh, I did do a voice.
Yeah, from Westralia. Going by Doc. He's a medic. Not actually a doctor. Not a full doctor yet. Doesn't have the money. And never finished medical school. But Doc McStuffin is going to is sticking around with Caradog here, realizing that he can be manipulated into acquiring said money for medical school. And there's no way he's going to succeed in what he's doing, so this can go on for years. Who knows? And was it last time we
Oh, you shit! I didn't say what we did. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
What did we do? We started a gang war.
Yeah, last time, basically, these guys were hanging out. Caradog, has this ship, which we'll introduce in a little bit later. But these guys were hanging out on a small mining planet called Bestfro in the Umbral Belt, a void in the depths of space. And their fixer, a gentleman named Willie Specs Roach, gave them a tip-off that this big pirate treasure, essentially, the lost treasure of Captain Satanta of the Cuchulainn, had been basically he had a tip-off on how they could find it, the ship's navigation computer. On the Cuchulainn, which had been destroyed, the ship's navigation computer had turned back on, and he figured that would contain the secrets for finding Satanta's lost treasure. So these two, along with their associates on that venture, basically went looking for the wreck of the Cuchulainn, boarded the ship, and found the navigation computer. But along the way, they essentially started a gang war between the old wolfhounds, the remnants of Satanta's pirate gang, and the local new bruisers, the Midnight Moths. They started a big shootout on Bestfro, and they're probably not going to have to worry about that ever again. Midnight Moths.
It was us two personally as well.
Yeah,
we were very
you two personally.
We both shot dudes on either side
and pretended like we were super into their whole cause. We made a best friend as well.
Yes.
Yes, you
from the
guys met
Junkers, right?
Oberon, the mad navigator, who was a member of the I think they were called the Termites or something like that. They were a scavenger group, essentially. Anyway, he's crazy, but he's a good pilot, and he helped them pilot through the sort of asteroid field that the wreck of the Cucullin was located in. But the long and short of it is, they made some friend, they made many enemies, and got a dead pirate's treasure map, and managed to escape with it in tow to, and they headed towards Australia. That being sort of Kelly's sort of port of call, I suppose, and also to get as far away as they could from the danger that was brewing. So later in the stream, basically, we'll meet Tony and Tata's characters. But if you guys would like to go ahead and introduce, Tony, we might start with you. Go ahead and introduce who you will be playing going forward.
Yeah. So I am Tony, and I am going to be kind of reprising a character I was playing during the playtesting of this game, but has not been officially seen. And I've kind of tweaked the character to give him a bit more backstory than a crazy zealot. So where Waldo Duke's story starts is that he's kind of at his wit's end. His wife left him. He hates his really boring accountant job. So he's kind of in search of new heights, new opportunities. Maybe something a little bit on the grayer side of morality. Feel something, get a rush. So he's actually gone to Australia looking for some new opportunities because there's some shady business deals that happen in Port Resplendent. And so he's kind of looking at some job opportunities, waiting for the next big adventure, or maybe his first real big adventure to come along. And that is where we'll leave off with Waldo Duke until later.
Excellent. We'd love to see it. And Tata, if you want to go ahead and introduce your character.
So, I'm Samantha, also known as Tata on the internet and by my parents, depending who's asking. And I'm the I suppose the co-director of Witch Hat Productions. So Lucy B and I developed this game together, and I'll be playing Sonny McKitten. It's short for Greg's son, big G, big S. There's a U.
Big G.
Sonny McKitten grew up in a group of street kids on the planet of Hybrax. But since his mid-teens, he's been jumping from ship to ship, working as a boarder. So someone who wears a void suit and jumps from ship to ship when you need to board. He's just a little boy at 17-ish. He doesn't know.
Child.
He's not counting. Can he read?
Probably.
Most of the letters.
There are 20 letters in the alphabet, right?
He's definitely seen words before, so...
Yeah.
He knows how to spell his name.
And we're
Only
so
the
The big
proud
G,
of
the
him.
big S, the E,
Oh, that makes
and
one
the
of us.
U.
We're so very proud of him. So basically, what we'll be doing today in this little session zero will be kind of like, talking about where the party going to be going a little bit, maybe talking a little bit about developing the system, playtesting it, and that kind of thing. And then we'll have a little bit of an actual game session where we'll bring the party together. So for those of you who know nothing about Maximum Light thus far, it's a 4d12 system where the players, and poor Tony who has 1d12, the players who basically, whenever there's a skill check, the players roll 4d12. It's basically a 4d6 system where you'd roll to see if you generate successes, but we use d12s instead because they
Don't
don't get
tell
enough
them
love.
that. The D12s are completely integral to the system.
Hugely
Well,
integral to the system.
It's twice as many numbers as D6.
Yeah,
Therefore, it's
exactly.
twice as good.
It's always
I
better.
do. Okay. Unironically, though, considering the stats and stuff, the 12's really important. That was a really good call.
It is.
You guys
Yeah, basically there are 10 stats in the game. We'll worry about the specifics when we're getting through the actual playing and stuff. But yeah, there's 10 stats in the game. Each character has a number in that stat and need to roll equal to or above it to generate a success. Depending on how difficult the skill check is, they might need to roll 1 or more successes. So they might be needing to roll 4 or whatever, if it's a really difficult check. But if they're really good at the skill, they'll probably be fine one way or another. If they roll any 12s, they get to give themselves an advantage, so an extra little boon. And if they roll any 1s, even if they succeed, they generate a consequence. So the consequences get added to the pool. If there are too many consequences in the pool, it explodes, something big and bad happens, and it's generally not something that the players want to happen, and something that the GM really, really does want to happen. The GM can also spend consequences from the pool to like add complications and stuff later. We'll sort of see that as we go. So yeah, I suppose I'm just thinking whether we should do we want to go around and maybe you guys can tell us like what your character's like, because basically each character has when you make your character, you pick a specialization, a background, and then you get to add a bit of extra flair. These give you the mechanics that you'll be using going forward. So each character has traits. These are the things that define them, things that make them tick. If you are ever making a skill check and you feel like your trait would be relevant to it, you can roll all 4 d12s again if you want, but you have to accept new rolls. So it's basically if you get a really, really bad roll or you want to push your luck, you can try rolling again. You also have 3 pieces of gear, which are the sort of signature items that your character has, and they serve as your hit points. So if you ever fail a check that's particularly dangerous, you can offload the damage onto one of your pieces of gear. It's then destroyed. If you don't have any gear, you instead have to disable a trait. Disabled traits are really hard to restore, quite expensive. And if you ever lose all 3 traits, you're basically completely dead. Or out of action. It might not be literal death, but it's character death, essentially. So yeah, if we want to go around, I suppose, in the same order again, and you guys just sort of... you've already given some details about your characters, but just mechanically, what's going on with them? If you want to go ahead, Kai.
Yeah. So Karadog is a defense specialist, which I don't actually. I'll just say what it is because I don't remember what that specifically gives me. But if you want to follow along at home, you should buy the actual
chat.
Or download it for free.
Or download it for free, but
Spend
every
money,
little
though.
helps. Spend money though.
They worked extremely hard on this.
So
And
what is it? I think what is it? Your specialization gives you your
Yeah.
one trait and then your one piece of gear, and then it also gives you like a stat block to start with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially.
Background
So
gives you the next one, the next trait, and the next gear, and then it's free.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, I suppose, decreasing complexity as you go. The specialization's the big thing that defines your character. The array that it gives you of like what numbers go into what stats is a suggestion. You can change those around if you want, so long as the array of numbers stays the same. So I think everybody has like one 10 they need to throw around or something like that, so that you need to have at least one assigned to one of your stats. And then, your background basically gives you another trait and another piece of gear, and then you get a little bit of flair, which is your own thing to add. So, Kai, you don't have to be like, oh, and I got this from my specialization. If you just want to tell us what Caradog's traits and gear is,
Sure.
that's suffice.
Yeah, so then with a military background, so my traits are hardened, tough physique, and single-minded was the last one I gave, because I feel like they really only want one thing, which is to murder Atticus Pallas, so that's kind of the end goal. And then gear-wise, I've got military-grade combat armor, a combat rifle, which I think we're kind of flavoring as like a sniper rifle. And then I've just written cool sword. So,
Oh, yes.
and then my inventory is I've got a toothpick for sort of was it crosshairs style kind of flair.
Yes.
Shout out my Bad Batch lovers.
Yeah.
And then a space iPod because I wasn't sure what the law is about
Was that
music,
pulling his hair out?
like music playback in this era. And then from the previous session, I've got a handful of EMP torpedoes.
Yes.
My best stat is agility, and I think my worst stat is Deadeye, which is quite weird actually thinking that.
Remember, lower numbers are better, so that's probably the other way around.
I'm an idiot. I'm so sorry. My best stat is Deadeye, and my worst stat is agility.
I was going to say, isn't your Deadeye like 3 or something?
Yeah, my Deadeye's a nice 4. So it's
4, yeah.
And the
Ignore that.
reason low numbers are important is because you have to roll above the skill check. So the
Exactly.
lower it is, the better chance you are going to
So
succeed.
high rolls are better, low stats are better.
Exactly. It's war game style, like 4+, that's really good on a D12. 11+ on a D12, not so good.
Was there some debate about which way that round those
Many.
numbers should be?
Many.
You don't need to know
Debate.
that.
You don't need to know. This is the behind the scenes. They can know that.
What I wanted.
Oh, we're getting some lore
Nice.
here. We're getting some development lore.
Yeah, well, we'll get into the development lore again in a little bit, but that's a little teaser for that.
I'm gonna say, I'm a lightweight and I've had a Guinness, so you're
Now
gonna have
the
to remind me.
Oh,
That's a
boy.
bit crazy.
You're gonna have to remind me a lot about the rules, even though I've played this twice already. I'm so sorry.
It's totally fine. So actually, Kai just mentioned one thing there. Kai mentioned Caradog's inventory. There are items in this game that are separate from your gear. Your items are just whatever shit your character's carrying around with them, basically, and they serve primarily a roleplay purpose. So if Kai wants Caradog to do something that reasonably could be solved by having EMP torpedoes, there's no mechanic for that. He can do it because he's got EMP torpedoes. And similarly with the toothpick, if that ever came up, like they've got a toothpick.
We don't make
it's
you do
fine.
a toothpick roll or an EMP roll. We can just assume that you can use those items normally.
Exactly.
Roll for toothpick.
That's coming in the deluxe edition of the game.
Yeah, that's going to be in the expansion, so keep an eye out for that. So, Greg, if you want to go through Kelly's sort of stats.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah,
mechanics.
Doc Kelly McStuffin is the specialization is medic. Background is Outer Worlds. Since the backgrounds are not specific places, but Westralia is one of those outer worlds. My stat block is it's pretty nice. Haha.
Pretty
My
nice.
worst stats are subterfuge and hacking, which makes sense. Why would I do those? But my best is a rocket of 5 for that first aid. My traits are I've got steady hands from medic, one step ahead from Outer Worlds, and the one that I picked for myself was money motivated.
Oh, yes.
Because I figured that could be like it's a character thing, and also like I can use that for things when money's on the line, maybe.
Absolutely.
And for my gear, I got a first aid kit, which I imagine is like a space first aid kit, but like probably also like a back alley.
Yeah, it's a back alley space first aid kit.
Back alley space first aid kit.
love you,
Resilience
Paul.
attire. Resilience attire, which I think would be fun. It's fun with some sort of like long coat. Australians are like sort of cowboy Australian folks.
Basically, yeah.
Basically. And my last piece of gear is a bottle of anti-fogmatic, which I learned that in the Wild West they used to sometimes for like embalming people they'd use just like really harsh whiskey as anti-fogmatic. So I thought that was really funny. So now I've got a bottle of whiskey that I can use. And as for my inventory, I was like, oh, let me be special. I need to specify I do have a cowboy hat.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
from the stream, I have a nanosurgeon drone. It's like it's a tiny drone that like has a very short range, since really the distances you're supposed to be able to like operate from inside of a body, but when you're like sitting outside, so it's not like I can like, oh, time to pilot my tiny drone a mile away, but like
Sorry, I just like the implication there that normal surgeons sit inside the body to do their operations.
the nanosurgeon does it. The
Quickly,
nanosurgeon
call a
does
very
that.
tiny doctor.
It gets hard. Listen, it's so complicated to be a doctor in space. I can't.
It's true.
You gotta climb inside the body.
I'm sorry, carry on.
But yeah, no, that's Doc Kelly McStuffin as far as the sheet goes.
Yeah, very cool. So, Tony, what's Waldo got on him?
So, as I mentioned, Waldo's kind of whole thing is that he's like an accountant, and he's looking for thrills. So I went with like a border specialization, just because thrill seeking. He's looking for excitement in his life. So being able to specifically like hop on board and like kind of traverse the vastness of space. So that kind of gives him Void Walker as the trait. Gets him a void suit, which helps with oxygen supply and things like that. Specialization being background gives him unshakable faith, very steadfast in his like mission and in his ideals and beliefs, or what will come to be his ideals and beliefs. And his icon of faith, which is kind of the symbol of his faith right now, is he's really dedicated to numbers. So I have a Geo 1984 calculator. as the icon of faith.
Which is about 300 years old now.
And they'll
Yeah.
still charge you $100 for it.
Exactly. And then so kind of as extra flair is I think a lot of like taxes and money. It's a lot of it is a big puzzle, right? What do I do to save money here and there? Dodge, not a tax evade. That's the gray area. So he's a puzzle expert as his extra trait, and as an extra piece of gear that I thought fit that, I have a Spice Up Your Tax Life book. That will be his third and final piece of gear. And as for inventory, he kind of just wears like, I don't watch a lot of Ozark. I like very Marty Bird, just like very basic dad. Polos, khakis, just very, very much a dad vibe going on. I really like it.
I'm loving the image of Doc Kelly sweeping in somewhere, hat, duster coat, like, probably 6 shooters and stuff like that. And then just your dad follows him in after behind, like, hey, everybody. How are your taxes?
Holding a book like he's like a Mormon.
Yeah.
Hello, have you heard the good word of filing your taxes?
Yeah.
Ooh, new tax code got passed. I didn't hear about that. That's exciting.
Oh, I'm going to have a good evening tonight reading about that. Alrighty, so Samantha, why don't you tell us about our little boy?
Let me tell you all about your little boy, Sonny. He also has the border specialization, so he also has Voidwalker and the Void suit, although I imagine we won't be coming into conflict about that too much. I think he'll have to learn to be a border because no one else wanted to do it on the ships that he worked on. Being growing up in a little urchin pickpocket gang, Sonny has the criminal background, so he has criminal contacts and he has nondescript armor, which I think might just be a lot of layers.
Like 4 sweaters
Hoodie.
kind of thing.
I think he's just got like a lot of stuff on. He's just like, and he's like, you always want to put the plate between like jumper number 2 and number 3 because that's where they'll go for the knife.
like baseball catcher's gear. Like that's what I picture.
I'm just loving the idea of him being in like a spacesuit, but he's got like a hoodie on over it. So it's got like the oxygen mask, but he's got like a hood up.
That's sweet.
Oh man, and for his flair, he has bountiful optimism, which was almost sunny outlook, but I decided that bountiful optimism was probably more sensible. And he's got a little pair of pickpockets gloves in case he needs them, but that life is behind him now, so I'm sure he won't be doing anything.
Never.
No more
He's a good
crime.
boy.
Like
He's a good boy.
bad. His highest stat is agility, and I gave him okay subterfuge and parley as well, on account of him being sneaky and a nice little boy.
He's a nice little boy. So that is the ragtag crew that'll be going through this little adventure. We'll be using the ship that the guys used in the finale streams, which was the Quicksilver, but more commonly known as, was it the Smooth Suarez?
The Smooth Suarez.
much to Carro Dog's chagrin, great chagrin. It's Carro Dog's ship. I think we were thinking that Carro Dog probably stole it, because I think you guys gave it the trait hot, as in like,
Yes.
it is people are looking out for it. Well, I didn't write down myself the traits we had, but I think it was like,
I have the traits.
Oh, cool, go ahead.
The twitchy, the controls are twitchy.
oh yes,
It's hot, as in it is stolen.
Yeah.
And then ostentatious.
yes.
Like people notice the Smooth Suarez.
like, yeah, so basically in Maximum Light, much like a player character, because the crew need a ship. The crew have to have a ship in Maximum Light. It's an integral part of the game, and the ship has its own traits, which work the same way in terms of dice rolls that a character's traits do. So if you're doing something with the ship and the ship's trait would apply, you can re-roll if you want. The ship can never lose its traits, though. Instead, the ship has a couple of different systems. We won't get into that now, but basically, if all the ship systems are destroyed, the ship blows up and
explodes and everyone dies.
And everyone dies.
That's in if you let that happen, the ship does blow up and you all die.
That's how
I think it's probably quite hard for that to happen, but we'll see.
You're probably dead by the time it happens.
Yeah.
Like, it's very likely you will die, so we're just hurrying it up and blowing up the ship.
Just kaboom.
Can I, is it able for it to explode while you're like outside of it? Like, could that have happened while we were inside the Kilcullen? While
Oh, that would have been pretty funny, huh?
I think from a sort of
stranded on the Kilcullen.
That would have sucked.
I think from a narrative point of view, if the GM wanted to do like a cataclysm where it was like, you know, you're boarding this wreck and the cataclysm is an asteroid comes past and just totals your ship, and now you're trapped in the middle of space and you got to do something about that. I think probably, but there's no mechanic for like, oh, if you happen to get 11 consequences and the crew aren't in it, like that's up to the GMs.
Sure.
That's up to the fiction that's being told.
No, the GM has to kill all the characters if the ship explodes. Like, it's like Final Destination.
Yeah.
You escape death and it's coming for you.
Oh man.
God, Final Destination. I haven't seen that in a while.
That'd be such a good way to end this actual play, is just us dying in really weird ways and trying our best to roll out of it.
Oh man.
Oh fuck.
We love to see it.
Yeah,
basically. I mean,
no, it's
what is this series if not you guys prolonging your untimely demise?
It's tonally, we're Caradog's not exactly about to succeed with killing our guy, so we're kind of on a doomed mission if that persists.
Yep.
We don't know that. We don't know what Paul has planned.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's fair. You know what?
Imagine.
Paul did say everything that happens here is canon.
100%
that's
canon.
true.
He was very clear on that. He was like,
said that.
everything that happens is definitely canon, and if they say anything about the world, that's canon too.
And no matter what Paul says on Twitter through the official Green Horizon account, it's false.
It's false.
You have to
Fake
believe
news.
us. You have to
He
believe
actually
us.
signed the contract that said that.
This is it.
Yeah. This is the lore. And speaking of, space in the Green Horizon universe is actually full of jam. Ships go through jam. That's an important thing to note.
Wormholes actually have worms in them.
Yeah, wormholes have worms in them.
It's a crossover. It actually exists in the same universe as Ghost of a Train and Chain of Being. It's all in one mega universe.
We go back to Earth and Super Suits is happening. Like...
That's right. This is the FNU, the FN universe.
FN universe. The reason you are not going to be able to kill Atticus Pallas, Kai, is because he is like a really powerful supervillain. He's got like crazy powers going on.
Excellent.
That isn't all true. Just to clarify.
Some of it is, but you have to sit through it and figure it out.
One of those things.
Go watch Green Horizon, go watch Ghost on a Train and Chain of Being and Super Suits and find out which of those is true.
Exactly.
At any rate, that's sort of the crew of the Quicksilver and what they're up to. So when we pick up with the game in a little bit, basically, Caradog and Kelly will be arriving at this small little refueling station not far from Westralia itself, so in the space kind of around it, called Port Resplendent, which is, it's basically... It's a shithole.
It's not as abundant as it sounds.
No, and it is the kind of place where there's no crime happening there itself necessarily, but if you are a criminal and you need to refuel your ship, they're not going to ask too many questions. So that's where we'll be picking up from in a little bit. But Tony, you were suggesting before the stream we could talk a little bit about like the development process or stuff like that about
lore.
Yeah,
Maximum
I
Light,
want to hear about like how. I'd like to hear about how y'all and Paul put this. Y'all and Paul. Put this all together and kind of came to whatever this is that we're doing right now.
Yeah. So back when a little over a year now, when me and Samantha started Witch Hat Productions, our little TTRPG company, which was like originally mainly intended because we make a lot of homebrew stuff, originally for D&D and whatnot, and we wanted kind of somewhere to put that, on the internet, and then it increasingly became sort of like, well, actually, let's do our own, rather than like homebrew stuff, let's do our own RPG stuff. And I was just listening to, I think it was Voiders specifically. I was listening to Voiders, and I was like, damn, it'd be fun to play an RPG in this kind of like madcap, sort of space western setting. And then I was kind of like, we could make that RPG. We could do that. Like there isn't one, but because I had been I'd been in Paul. I'd done some voice acting for Green Horizon. If you've been listening to Season 3, you may recognize me as Sonia's shitty dad.
Everyone's favorite character. Roger.
Everyone's favorite character. Because Paul just loves getting me in to do asshole characters. I think he must have it out for me. But anyway, so I had been talking with Paul, and so I was basically like, "Hey, got this idea. Like, how does it sound to you?" And Paul, God love him, didn't really know too much about tabletop RPGs. So this was like an introductory sort of session for him. Me sort of explaining what we were thinking, but he was really excited about the idea of having like a book for, sort of the Green Horizon universe, something that people could engage with outside of the podcast streams and stuff. Because originally, I don't know if Paul has said this in any of the Q&As and stuff before, so I hope he won't mind me like dropping some Green Horizon lore. But originally, Paul had written much of it as like a book that kind of didn't really end up going the way he wanted it. So, and then eventually it grew into the show we all know and love. But so I think he was very excited to have like something written, physical. I mean it's a digital book, but hopefully we'll have physical versions of it one day.
Print it out and put it in a binder.
Yeah, exactly. Mail it to Paul. But yeah, so that's basically how it got started.
And then from that point on, it was the initial basis that we started with was the idea of consequences, and cataclysms came out of that, because the thing that defines stories like the Green Horizon, and to some extent stories like Firefly that follow approximately the same thing, or westerns or fantasies that follow the same thing, is a constant back and forth of disaster and fortune, of this sort of skin of your teeth thing, the fact that these characters are getting in over their heads and then out of trouble through some unlikely circumstance and doing it all over again. So we started out with the basis of, well, we want to make a mechanic that reflects that things go wrong and you have a way of getting out of overwhelming trouble. And from that was born the idea of the consequence pool, the pool that explodes when you fill it with too many consequences and everything goes terribly wrong. And then once we had that...
No, go ahead.
Well, from there, it was a case of building the 4D12 system, of coming up with a system that allowed you to generate things like advantages and consequences. The idea for the system at the beginning was a very narrative one. It's not too rules heavy as it exists, but it's more mechanical than I think initially it was going to be. A very sort of decision-based system, and it kind of evolved into the slightly more numerical system that you see today. What were you saying, Luke?
Oh, I was just going to say you were very, very insistent on the phrase "the consequence pool explodes."
Oh, it explodes. Like it doesn't. It's not. It doesn't trigger a cataclysm. It doesn't turn into. It explodes. The pool explodes. I want you to imagine those dice going into a bowl and it just goes boom.
Yeah, and like in terms of, I suppose design like fundamentals. That was the main thing. Was like everything was about. Like there's not a direct push your luck system in the sense of like the only way you can get like rerolls is if your trait relates to it, but players can spend consequences to generate extra successes, and it's all about the players got this increasingly unstable situation that they're trying to deal with, and okay, it's sort of you're there in a situation like, this is a really important check. Do you want to take a consequence because you're already at risk of blowing up the pool, but maybe you want to pass this check, and sort of trying to set up things so that everything ties back into this idea that sooner or later shit's going to hit the fan. It's just going to be a case of when, not if.
That was a pretty more recent inclusion, right? That was more like during playtesting, we're like, that could be fun.
Yeah. Originally, the main way that players could add consequences to the pool was that they could basically invoke a consequence to make a true statement about the world, but that kind of derived from, as Samantha was saying, when it was a lot more narrative-based as a system. And in the playtest, we found that people just didn't really consider it, because people were more focused on, like, what is my character going to do? Am I going to do this or that?
The situation that they were given, rather than being like, I've decided that a cafe is right next door that I know the owner of.
Yeah, exactly. So, but as you say, Tony, anyway, in the playtest, it made more sense for people to be able to push their luck with the successes, because that's real intimate. Like, I'm reacting to this situation. I have to make this decision now as to whether I'm going to trade a success for a consequence. Whereas, yeah, the other one was a little bit more ephemeral, as it were.
But then there's also a lore section in the book, which is an overview of some of the locations from the Green Horizon, much of which is mentioned in the show, but it's not an exposition-heavy show, so there may be some things that are new to you, which I won't talk hugely about. That wasn't a creative contribution from me or Luke Sophia, that was just me writing down what has already been stated. I will say that the world of the Green Horizon is much, much more detailed than we see in the Green Horizon, and I'm reasonably sure I've gotten some things wrong. I don't know what, but I'm sure it's in there, so we're gonna find out.
Paul will let us know.
Paul will let us know exactly. But the book does offer like a kind of like a summary of the world, even if there are little bits here and there that Paul's going to be raging about. By and large, it explains some things that are maybe alluded to in the show and throwaway lines and stuff like that, but which aren't gone into detail, so you can use them for your own campaigns. You can sort of tie your own narratives and stuff into those for your own.
And if you've ever wanted a Green Horizon OC, now we've provided you with the comprehensive toolkit to make one.
Your Green Horizon Sona.
I was just thinking
Horizona, yeah.
Horizona.
Yeah.
Horizona, baby.
It's like you, but Irish.
It's my Irish soda.
Your Gaelic Sona. Let's go.
I wonder what Paul's Irish Sona would be like. I can't even fathom it.
Square.
No.
The same, but he's from like Dublin.
Yeah, he's got a really bad Irish accent.
See, I don't know enough about Ireland to understand that joke, so I'm just gonna pretend like I understand and laugh.
Yeah, that's good.
Smile and wave.
Smile and wave. Paul being from Dublin would mean, and if there's any Irish people listening, this is a shout out for you. Paul being from Dublin would mean he'd be from objectively a worse part of Ireland, because it's like,
oh shit!
It also means he would be an objectively worse person. Like that is
Fucking fired, honestly.
exactly.
Get those
We're from
down.
Cork. For anyone from Ireland who's listening right now,
From the
and is like,
best part
"What
of
is it?"
Ireland.
We are from Cork. That's why we're like this.
Paul's from the bit of Ireland next to Cork, so he's not quite as good, but like, but it's not.
He gets-
Waterford,
he gets
or
some of
as
the
we call
energy.
it, just North Cork.
Where are the rubber bandits from?
Limerick, so that's what we like sometimes call West Cork,
Okay.
West Cork, because there is a West Cork.
Everything's just actually around Cork.
There's an image I love, because within Ireland there's a meme of Cork people, as you can probably tell, being very self-centered and full of themselves. But there's a map which is just of Ireland, and it's just like only Cork is highlighted, the rest is just grayed out, and it's just Cork, not Cork. And that's how Cork people think of it. It's just like, does the rest of the country really matter?
Sure, it's not
really.
Cork, is it?
It's not Cork. Other memes include the People's Republic of Cork.
The Cork independence movement, where Cork seeks to make itself a separate state from the rest of Ireland.
Oh, that sounds like California here in the U.S.
Yeah, well, it's not serious is the only thing.
Oh, true.
But yeah, to come back from the real Irish lore to the Green Horizon lore.
Irish law.
Irish lore.
Oh, sick lore.
I'm world building about Ireland right now. Do you guys like my homebrew setting?
Yeah, it's a nifty place I made it called Cork. It's fascinating.
Oh, dude.
But yeah, and I think the only thing I can think of, I mean, unless you guys have questions about the system, but that people would maybe like want to know is why 4d12s. And to be honest, mainly
No, I have a reason. Don't you talk. It was my idea.
it wasn't your idea. It was my
I
idea.
don't care for you to misrepresent my choices.
It was my idea.
Bite.
It was
Well, go
4d12s because a 2d6, for example, is a slightly more stable dice roll, whereas the difference between 1 and 12 is quite wide. The same way the difference between 1 and 20 is quite wide. So a d12 was the right number for having a very wide range of results, so that there is still a big range for failure and a big range for success, even if, like, no matter what your stats are. 4, I think, came from the birth of us testing to see how many successes you got on the average roll, and we settled on that.
Yeah, because we kind of thought it would be better to have a system where you're rolling like a lot of dice and comparing that to a stat rather than rolling one dice and the GM sets like a DC. Mainly to kind of mainly to make the most of having that wider swing of numbers.
And then it also opens up the scope for generating consequences as a result of rolling ones, because that was a very early part of the system, was the idea that as you rolled dice, you would be building up this consequence pool the longer you went on.
Because an important part of that is you generate consequences even if you succeed. So if you roll 3 12s and a 1, you still get a consequence. I think originally when we first moved to the 4d12 system, you generated...
They were going to cancel out, and then you'd have to do all these maths.
I actually forgot about that, where we had a whole thing for a while. But I was actually specifically going to say, I think at one point you generated one consequence per one you rolled, but we found that to be too many consequences generally, because we kind of wanted it that... So in the game, when the GM is checking whether or not there's a cataclysm, whether or not the pool explodes, once there are 5 consequences in the pool, the GM starts having to check for that. And the GM basically rolls a d12, and if it's equal to or above the current consequence pool, it's fine. If not, it explodes. And so we kind of wanted it to be like, theoretically, the GM just needs 1 dice and it's a d12. We didn't want to be like, oh, and now you roll a d100 and compare it to the amount of consequences in the pool. That kind of ensures that cataclysms happen often enough, because, eventually you're going to reach a point where it's impossible to roll above the amount of consequences, because as soon as you get to 13, that's just more than you can roll on a d12. That's some quick maths for you there. So that way you're ensured a cataclysm is going to happen eventually, but you have a little bit of leeway before it's guaranteed to happen.
Which is just modelled on the Haunt and Omen rolls. If you've ever played Betrayal of House. The idea of that you at some point unlock the ability to start rolling to see when the haunt happens inspired the system very much.
And in Betrayal, eventually the haunt has to happen. Like you can explore a majority of the house, but it's going to happen at some point. And
eventually, so this is going to be the first time that we play this for more than just like a one shot, because obviously we're kind of going off of what happens in that stream, the premiere stream, but like also like you don't read, it's not super relevant, like it's more just the backstory for anybody listening. But like so do consequences, are they per session, or are those persistent? Like if we play a session and we get like 5 consequences and they're sitting in the pool, will the next session that we play, we have 5 consequences, danger is still around?
Yeah, if we complete a grift.
Yeah, I think they would. I think they would probably reset between grifts unless one grift ended.
I think it is written that shore leave clears all of your consequences.
Yeah, so
they do persist between sessions.
Yeah, exactly. Exciting. So you guys won't have any consequences carrying over from that live stream. But if, for example, when we're doing the intro in a little bit, you guys somehow manage to generate consequences, those will be there next time we play.
So you can't be like, oh shit, it's nearly 9 o'clock. Time to start evoking consequences like there's no tomorrow. No, those are going to be there next time you come back. Yep. You can't escape from them.
Exciting.
The one time actually, because basically when the GM is starting to roll for whether or not a cataclysm happens, it's every time a consequence is added to the pool. Once it's over 5, they have to check if it explodes. The only time that doesn't happen is once a cataclysm does happen, the GM basically introduces a major threat, and while the major threat is in play, the consequence pool can get as big as you want without a second cataclysm being triggered. But as soon as the major threat is dealt with, the consequences are still in the pool. So you can have, theoretically, major threats chain into each other depending on how bad things are going for the crew. I'm excited to see if that'll happen. I don't know if it will. As Greg said, we've only played one shots of this so far, so it'll be interesting to see quite how high stakes things do get. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have anything else you're sort of pressing to know about the development process about it.
No, it makes me really excited to play though. I'm super stoked. There's so much love that went into this.
I mean, it's really exciting, I must say, to see it as like Samantha's been like zhuzhing up the book, and it's really exciting to see it all as one thing, because it's been like sitting as like a Google Doc half finished for like ages now. Because like we started, as I said, kind of
call me out for not finishing the book for ages. All right, just
I wasn't going to say
dirty
anything.
laundry for everybody to
You
hear.
were refining it, is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It was like a fine wine maturing.
Aging like a port.
I can't touch it. It's maturing.
It's maturing. But yeah, like basically, this is, I think, probably one of the biggest. It's the biggest RPG we've made thus far. So understandably, it took a while to come to fruition. So it has been very exciting to see, and I'm very excited to GM for you guys. Hopefully, it'll be a lot of fun both for you guys and for all of you listening, and well, I suppose watching for this one as well. So what we might do is, I think this is a good opportunity to move over to the actual intro session, if you guys want.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, cool. So where we last met Doc, Kelly, and Caradog, you guys were in the Umbral Belt, which is a voider space. Where not a lot going on, but it is famous for having, quite notorious pirates in it. You managed to retrieve essentially the hard drive of the Cuchullin's navigation computer. So you haven't managed to like decrypt it yet. You don't know where Satanta's treasure is, but like you've got everything you need to find it. Assuming it exists. We'll have to see. But you guys. You guys make it to the space around Westralia. As Guy said, you did start a gang war back on Bestfrul in the Umbral Belt. But right now, as far as you're aware, nobody's following up on that right now. You guys are relatively under the radar. But still, it wouldn't be a great idea to bust into the inner worlds and be like, hey, got this pirate treasure map. Anyone want to help us for free? So, where we're gonna pick up, I think I want to say it's been like maybe a day or two since you guys left the Umbral Belt.
Okay.
You like just because you guys seem to love him. I wanted to say Oberon is still with you guys.
Yes.
Like he's got a ship back in Bestfrul that he's going back to at some point.
If Oberon dies or leaves, I walk. I'm done. I don't care.
Contract negotiations happening live. But yeah, so he's chilling with you guys. And you are currently docked at Port Resplendent. Now, Port Resplendent is a small township, as I said, near Westralia. It's made from a converted Resilium hauler, essentially, so an old fuel hauler, essentially. So it's big, it's spacious, not very pretty.
So remember, this is a township, as in it's a ship that is a town.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the township. Yeah.
But unlike many townships which were like purpose built for this is a cargo hauler that they've put rooms in, essentially. So it's really not fit for purpose. It was called the Resplendent, hence why Port Resplendent, and you can see on the side of it emblazoned in fading but big white letters are the words Resplendent. It's quite a cramped ship. It's basically got a refueling, because they use much of it, I think, still for the fuel storage, but it's got like probably, I think, like airlocks coming out of it and stuff like that, so you can just haphazardly dock to the side of it. It is an official township, like it pays its taxes and stuff. You have to have a permit to dock, but the fines for being an unregistered ship are suspiciously low. So they're ticking their boxes, but yeah, it's very much the kind of place you go if you don't want people to ask questions about where you're coming from, where you're going, and why you want a lot of fuel all of a sudden. So you guys are basically like, you had to find somewhere to essentially recuperate, to reconvene after the Cuchullin grift. And I think where we're going to pick up specifically, as I said, it's been a day or two, and Kelly and Caradog, you guys are in Resplendent's sort of like watering hole, a pretty shitty dive bar called the Haggard Voyager, which is dingy. It's dark. The pints are weak and gassy. But it's relatively quiet, and nobody really seems to be asking you guys any questions. So you've got this map. You've got this sort of hard drive, maybe not physically with you right this second, but it's on the Quicksilver if it's not on your person. And the crew that were with you guys during the Cuchulainn heist, with the exception of Oberon, have functionally jumped ship. So you guys, it's the two of you plus the Mad Navigator. And I think when we meet you guys, you're in this, as I said, this dark, dingy bar. There's this fuel company, Westralian Fuel, but they don't own Port Resplendent, but like they kind of run the fueling enterprise here. And so they've got some offices here. So there are some like really like haggard looking office workers like drinking over in a corner. There's maybe one cool space pirate looking guy. But right now it's fairly quiet. So what do you think you guys are up to when we reconvene?
Drinking, probably.
Yeah. Doc Kelly, we're drinking Wosters. It's Australian for beer. That's I had that one in the can. That's it. It's the one joke.
All right, pack it up, gang.
Pack it up.
Good stream, everyone.
Good stream.
Yeah, I imagine Doc Kelly will fret a little bit to Cut a Dog. I woke up this morning and I had negative ideas about how exactly we can get the rest of this map. We can get to the destination on that there map.
I mean, it's. I've got a cat. I'm really sorry. Can this be? Can a cat? Yeah.
I was gonna say this is cat. Yeah, like Carrobis, your cat jumps up onto your lap. It's a very nice cat.
This is just doing what I'm doing with the cat now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's a hard drive, right? And we just take it to a computer and put it in, and then we have the map, and we go get the money, and then we kill Atticus. It's rather simple, actually. I don't really know what you're worried about.
That sort of computer is not exactly something you could trust with any sort of bloke that walks in here. Any tumbleweed. We need. I'm not.
I do love your mannerisms.
Hey, we're on Australia now, and this is completely normal. Everybody's like this.
Everyone talks.
Oh, cool. Listen, you know me. I'm in it. I'm not gonna jump ship like the other two, but I'm starting to see why they left. We got nothing.
I really am struggling to sort of see the downside of this. We have a map to a lot of treasure. I mean, all it takes is computers are everywhere these days. I mean, it feels like we could just, I don't know, just find. I mean, doesn't our ship have a computer? Why can't we just plug that into ours? Why can't we do that, actually?
Essentially, it's a very, as Doc Kelly said, it is a very specific, hard drive. It was built for a very specific ship. But the main thing, though, is it's encrypted, and you don't have essentially any way to unencrypt it, and you kind of it's intact. You didn't damage it necessarily pulling it out of the thing. You did fuck it a little bit because I think you guys just ripped it out. So the data stored on it is fine, but it's essentially a locked box, and you need somebody who would know.
I don't know about you, partner, but I don't know anything about numbers. I've got. Listen, I never actually finished medical school, so my way around the human body is a little ascetic, you know. I just sort of go by feel. You evidently, I feel like you ought to be good at numbers, but
what makes you say that?
I read somewhere, doesn't the sniper need to account for the curvature of a planet and wind speed and all that?
I just go off vibes.
This is no way for us to run a ship. And I'm not even gonna ask Oberon. Oberon, the void to him. I don't know how he does it.
Oberon, you know much about is Oberon with us, or is he off?
No, I think Oberon's off somewhere doing Mad Navigator things.
They call him the Mad Navigator for a reason. and it's not because
But Kelly's right. Like O'Brien has been there, like flying your ship, and you ask him how to do it, and he's like, just Voight speaks to me. It's fine.
Sick.
You don't get called that if you do it normal.
Waldo, I think you're sitting in the Haggard Voyager. You know, you've been trying to find, you've been trying to find some meaning in your life, trying to get some adventure, and like you're just overhearing snippets of this conversation because like most other people who are talking in this bar are just like nursing their plane, they're just looking down, and they're like, and not really saying anything.
Yeah, and I hear this kind of familiar voice, someone that maybe I used to, I knew back in the day. Carrobis? And I just kind of shoot him a puzzled look. He looks a little ragged after his after the adventure, I think.
Oh, it's you. It's
Where's
Wally. Wally, that's it. Wally, how's it going?
Look, only my granny can call me that. You can't call me Wally. Okay, I'm trying to get a reputation here. Okay,
sorry.
Okay. What?
Waldo. There we go. How's
go.
it still doing the numbers thing?
Unfortunately, yes. It's
Oh.
But I'm.
Kelly leans forward.
Hi.
G'day.
This is Doc Kelly, my medic friend. We've not talked about it.
I see you're still keeping...
I like to imagine on both of those things. Hold on, we've talked about it.
Have we? I don't think are we friends?
I see you still keep quite the interesting personas around you. I came here for a search of some excitement though, because Catherine left me, and
oh, Catherine. Yeah, I remember her.
and you literally never met her. You do not.
Oh no, I don't. Really, sorry about that.
And I feel like I'm at my wit's end, so I just thought I'd come here to the wild Australia and see what opportunities are on the horizon, or what.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Not much really. There's not much going on with us. It's pretty pretty boring, I'd say. I don't just sort of got off sort of fighting some space pirates, and then stole a hard drive leading to some treasure maps. But it's all we've all got it like controlled, so probably won't need any help. Isn't that right, Kelly?
Yeah, Dr. Kelly is trying to suss out the vibe about like this looks like a very normal, very sad man.
Okay, well, I'll leave you to it. If here's my
Hold
card.
Hold on there, partner. Hold on there, partner. My mate here just said that you do numbers.
Yes, I'm actually I'm freelanced right now. I left my job and I came here to see if I could find some new employment opportunities. Up for anything, anything. Just trying to get some excitement going on in my life. It's just
Now, at the risk of sounding a bit like your uncle or your granny, you do the computers. Do you work computers?
I often have to use a computer to file taxes and and my various programs for accounting. Yes,
to count the money. An accountant.
Yes. What do you think I do, Carrobis?
You just like tell people how much money they have in their accounts, and then kind of sit around for the rest of the day, right?
Yeah,
that's what you were doing with my money, right?
Yeah, as your personal accountant, I would look at your money and I'd find investment opportunities and things like that. So, I guess I count. What do you specifically need here? What is it you're looking for? What can I help you with?
Doc Kelly McStuffin has now connected the dots that many people in Catadog's life just sort of go along with him, and I think he's ready to speak freely to you, Waldo Duke. All right, so the bit about the hard drive was correct. The problem is it's encrypted. So we need somebody who can know computers or numbers or ciphers. I don't quite get it. It's all over me head. But if you,
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
did that all break up there? For a second? Sorry
Oh,
about
yep.
that. All my
Yeah,
stuff
sorry.
broke up.
But if you perhaps are looking for a new start, some employment, we can promise you money later. I can listen. I can assure you, as Carrobis can as well. This is legit. What we got? You seem a reasonable man, and this Catherine, if that Sheila doesn't come running back to you, then we'll find you a new one.
Did you just say her name was Sheila? You just said her name was Catherine, and then you called her. Is that a name or is that?
No, it's a thing we say in Australia, mate.
Sorry, I just got here a couple days ago. I'm still picking up the
I
lingo.
barely understand what he's saying most of the time, so just kind of like smile and nod.
Why are you whispering? He's right there. He can. So
He's a Vegemite stuck in me pin.
So I don't know much about encryption, things like that, but I did do some work for a tech firm back at home. So I might have some contacts that could help us out, point us in the right direction. I'll have to call around. I will need you to sign this contract about my employment, though. It is
Carrobis immediately signs it.
37 pages long.
Done. Not even. So, yeah, cool. What's your stance on murder?
Well, the only
Pro
thing
or con?
I just do what the numbers tell me. Whatever those numbers lead me to do is what I do. I've never murdered anything.
Get in. All right, let's go.
Wow, we're just going straight for just chaotic evil, huh?
Listen, we played both sides in a gang war like 4 days ago, so like
They're pretty.
Waldo, the reason why Carrobis is asking about the murder is we didn't do a lot recently, but I think we caused a lot. So there is a non-zero amount. We did a small amount. We did a small amount of very real murders, and it may come back to roost.
Yeah.
I know this really shady law firm. I can get us out of anything. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, if they're shitty, I don't know if we want like shitty as in morally or just they're not very good at what they do.
Oh no, shady. No, they're
shady.
They're really
Sorry.
good. Shippy.
Okay.
You know, they're very, very, very good.
Shitty. Okay, that's fine.
Your access is hard to follow for me, mate.
What?
We've also got another crew member who just sort of has gone. I don't know what he's up to, but he's just sort of off doing mad navigator things. But you'll love him. He's great. The best person I know. No offense, Kelly. You're a close second.
Well, it's all right. Me and Oberon get along like. Fuck.
Go on. Quickly.
Like two wallabies in an knapsack. Come on.
Like a crocagator and a scream.
Sure.
That's right. Crocodiles and alligators have interbred. That's real in Australia. This is canon.
Yeah, they did it to save both species because they were going extinct.
Yeah.
Paul, you can verify this later on Twitter.
Yeah.
Paul's gonna listen to this, by the way. Paul's
Quiva and Paul are watching
editing
right now, by the way.
Paul's watching right now, taking notes for editing, and he's writing down on this timestamp, like, be sure to include a very canon fact.
I can't wait for me to do like an actual play based on Brandon Sanderson's work and just live tweet him the whole time. Be like, this is how it works, right?
Pretty sure. So while this is all going on in the Haggard Voyager, Sonny, my lad, my boy, what have you been doing on Resplendent? Why are you on this little refueling station?
So that's a great question. I was working on, I was just doing odd porter work. I've been jumping around doing that for a few years. And I was last working for a very small trader vessel with a crew of 2. And they very recently docked here and then murdered each other. And that's where I'm at right now. So I was kind of finding my place there. You know, we were becoming friends and their relationship wasn't going great. And they've killed each other and their ship has been stolen. So I've been here for about a week. I have no income and no food. So I've been cheerfully looking for work, is what I've been doing.
Now, I understand you're a law-abiding good little boy. That's correct? Like you're not.
I'm a good little boy. I don't know if I would say I'm law-abiding as such.
But you are a law-abiding good little boy.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I understand that. So
there were air quotes for when this is a podcast later that he would.
Yeah,
there were air quotes.
Those were air quotes. So I think it would not escape your notice that a vessel as ostentatious as the Quicksilver has docked at Port Resplendent the last couple of days. You might not have noticed it at first because they, dock on the outside. And I don't think Port Resplendent has that many windows. But at one point or another, you would notice that there's this really rich word would probably get around. There's, this guy with clearly money or a stolen ship. Rumors are at odds a little bit there, but has arrived on bumfuck nowhere. So what do you think you would do with this information?
Were the doors locked?
Caradog, do you think you'd lock the doors?
No.
No.
All right, so I'm in the. I think I'm in the Quicksilver.
Yeah, so you find this ship, and because probably because the ship was stolen, the doors have been hot wired and just never fixed. They're airlocks, so they close, but they don't have any kind of security. It's just a button and they open.
Just hope that everyone assumes it would be who the fuck would leave their fucking doors unlocked? Yeah.
So yeah, you get you're just on the Quicksilver. As you're what are you doing on the Quicksilver?
How is the Quicksilver? How is the state of the Quicksilver right now? Because Caradog and Doc have been there, living on it for a while. I don't know if either of them are particularly clean people. Is it sort of college students with the pizza boxes and bottles everywhere?
I feel like Doc Kelly is a sanitary person, but definitely very cluttered. So there's probably not leftover pizza boxes and stuff, but there is just clothes everywhere. Everything just open and shelves not being used.
So I think that Sonny wants to make a good impression here, so he's gonna start tidying up.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think Caradog's room is full of just headphones and speakers and loads of just broken bits of radios, just any kind of junk that produces some sort of sound, because he just likes to blast music from his room as loud as possible. I think just was partially the reason why the other party members left, because they just couldn't sleep at night. So it's very, very just messy and disorganized. He's trying to.
It's not like they couldn't sleep at night with the murder or the guilty conscience. It's literally the music.
It's the noise.
Genuinely too loud.
I'm gonna start with the galley. That's always a good place to go. I'm gonna put the kettle on in case anybody's coming, and I'm just gonna keep turning it on.
Press the switch down. Yeah.
I'm trying to look like I work here, because it's definitely worked for me in the past, and I've just gotten on a ship and pretended to be working there, and then they employed me.
So I think in that case, I'm going to say that after you guys recruit Waldo, you sign his contract, you maybe have a couple of more drinks, but you're come on Waldo, we'll show you the Quicksilver, and you guys bring him back to the Quicksilver to show him where you guys have been hanging out, what the ship's gonna be. Maybe Waldo even insisted on seeing it so he could oh god, what's the word? When an accountant or somebody does they do a thing to see how much everything costs. An audit.
An audit.
Yes. You're I gotta have to audit that ship. I don't know how observant you guys are.
He looks very natural. He looks very much like he works on this ship.
I was going to say, before you even get to the Quicksilver, it's just clear the door is open. You do usually close it, but the door is wide open. Now Oberon's been coming and going, presumably, and you don't know how forgetful a guy he is. He is crazy. But you do hear the sounds of somebody fussing. You hear the kettle click and then start to boil again.
It just goes instantly as well, because like it's already been boiled a million times. Can I roll to see whether I notice anything is up?
Sure, make me an observation check.
Observation, okay. So, okay. So my observation is a 7. I rolled above a 7 for every single one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the vibes are off here.
I like stop everybody and go, something's up, but I can't figure out what.
Your door's open.
That's a really good point. Why is the door? Did you leave the door open?
You have a
Well,
friend here,
I
right?
wouldn't have left the door open.
Did I leave
Maybe
the door?
Oberon would come by.
Oberon,
I don't
that's
know
it.
why he would.
At this point, Oberon walks up behind you guys and he's like, "What are we all stopping in the hallway for,
I
gang?"
give him a massive hug.
He hugs you back. So for those of you who weren't there in the launch stream or the finale stream, sorry, Oberon is, as I said, he's a voider and he's a crazy prospector character. And he's as off his rocker as Carrobis, so they're on a wavelength, the two of them.
I love him so much. Oberon, did you leave the door open, or is that
Don't it close automatically? I mean, maybe shucks, maybe I did, but I don't think so.
I'm gonna
Did you
go.
leave
Yeah.
the kettle on? So that way you'd have some tea for us later.
You know, I probably did put it on, but I don't think it'd still be boiling. It's the sound of it like boiling and then going on again.
How slow is
Can,
that?
can Sonny hear any of this?
Yeah, you can probably, Sonny. I don't think they're being very quiet.
I'm moving on to the process of making tea. That's
Yeah.
where I'm at now. I'm
Okay, you
going
actually-
on to the tea making part, the teapot.
Yeah, you
process.
hear, you guys like the kettle boils and then it doesn't go back on the boil.
You didn't know there was a teapot on board, but Sonny's found one.
Should we go in and go? Hello?
All right, sir.
Oh, wow,
Okay.
you have a cleaning crew. You have an assistant. You have help on the ship.
No, we don't. No, we
No,
don't. Who
no,
are you?
I didn't know he had cleaning crew.
Oh wow.
Can I like draw my sniper rifle?
Yeah, like, you'll have to have permission for that.
What's what the fuck are you doing here then?
All right, well, sir, I'd just like to start out. It's really nice to meet you. Really pleased to
Oh.
make your acquaintance.
I'm Catadog McGadderwork. Nice to meet you.
Right, pleasure, sir.
You
Captain.
wave with the rifle, like.
Yeah. Sure. Captain seems fine.
Right. Well, that's what. Well, they called me Gregson McKitten, but Sonny for short, sir. If you like, Captain. And I'm just, well, I was just passing by, and I had a thought to myself. Well, isn't this a nice ship that needs a porter? So I got on board, and I've made a pot of tea, and I was just thinking maybe I could work here now. If it's all right with you, sir. Well, I don't have any references, sir, because they've all died, but I'm still alive. And I've got a voice suit.
Hold on, mate. Oh, why did they all die?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh gosh. Well, the last two, well, they murdered each other, sir. But then, before that, well, that was Mrs. Kitty. She was a lovely lady. Well, she got done with the radiation poisoning, sir. And well, before that, I was working on one of those big trade vessels, and that didn't go quite so well. They got into a bit of trouble with the Leica pirates, but I was brought. They wanted to tell me he's a slave, but I managed to slip off. Luckily, now I did make a friend there, but he's a bit dead. But
Just a bit.
and before that, well, I had a good run on one of the corporate vessels, sir. I was just doing a bit of porting work, but they had a bit of an accident with the courser, so
It doesn't sound like you've got a great track record, but
Doc Kelly takes his hat off and sort of holds it to cover up his and Catadog's mouths. Captain. Now, on the one hand, we could be facing
can
down.
I bring
yeah.
Sorry,
Waldo,
Waldo,
yeah,
Waldo,
yeah,
get in here, get in
no,
here. You
We
this
could
now.
be bringing down the kiss
Oberon,
of death.
sorry, Oberon.
We could be bringing down the kiss of death over to the Smooth Suarez, or
Right, or
this is a very desperate young man.
Mm.
And,
which means we don't have to pay him very much.
that's exactly what I was thinking, Captain.
Okay.
Don't worry, I get a contract for that. Don't worry.
Okay.
Young exploiter
desperate
work.
young man contract.
Yeah,
I hereby declare I am a desperate young man.
All right. Either way, Captain. I say we go for it.
You know, in the
turn
void,
around. Oh yeah, go on. Sorry,
the
go on.
hat back.
Oberon's just like, you know,
Hat back down. Hat back down.
I'll take off his hat. You know, in the Void, we always say, you know, if you survive one shipwreck, you know, that's dumb luck. If you survive more than that, well, you know, that means something. So that kid's got fortune writ around him. Now, it's not good fortune, but it's the kind of fortune I think we'd want.
I turn back around and go, and what's your stance on murder?
Well, I've made 16 cups of tea, sir, because I don't know how you take it, sir, so I just did.
Every possible
I've done one
permutation.
for each setup, sir, and as for murder, sir, well, I mean, as my old friend Dockleaf back on Hybrex used to say, now that was before he was killed himself, sir, you know, sometimes you've got to give someone a little shank. That's what he used to say to me, sir, and I remembered that in his memory, sir, so...
Sounds good to me.
That's good. Here, please sign this. It says slightly paid internship at the top, and it's also over 30 pages long.
Sonny takes the pen and begins very, very painstakingly writing. Like, it's clearly taking a lot of concentration from Sonny to do whatever he's doing on this piece of paper, which is writing his name.
I turned to Caradog and I realized that probably not the choice of like character to turn to is probably not great. So then I kind of look and I turned to Doc. I was like, "Is the boy okay?" You're the doctor.
Yeah, you get much schooling there, lad.
Oh, well, I mean, well, that's what we used to say in my gang back on Ibrax, sir, is the only school you need is the School of Life. Well, they did try and take us in for one of the Pylorian schools, sir, but we all managed to escape, except for old Peter, and he's a slave now, but the rest of us, we got away without the education, sir, so I managed to escape from all that.
I hope we have a laundry list of like the travesties that Grandson has endured by the end of this.
I'm suddenly very deeply sad. We should
No,
probably get on.
I do know my A's from my B's, sir. I know. Now, most of the
most
alphabet I'm
important
all right
letters.
with. I do have some trouble, sir, with the letter Q, and I'll be honest with you there. But
It barely comes up. You're fine.
I turn
Well-
around the contract, and it's got, like, Greg's son, like Greg, and then the word son. And then M, and he appears to have just given up after that point.
It's a cincher. It's fine. Thank you.
It's-
Just take it back.
Oberon very seriously puts his hand on Caradog's shoulder, and he kind of like pulls Caradog's side a little, and he's like, "Captain,
Yes,
doesn't
darling.
our ship have a Q in it, in the name? I feel like that's an important letter."
Sir, it's all right. You know what, sir? I can learn. I can hit the books right now, and I will start, and I will be. I'm very dedicated to my
no
job.
need, Sonny. Everyone calls it the Smooth Suarez. Nobody says the Q.
That has
I
another
forgot
tricky
about
letter,
that.
though. It has a Z. Do you know the letter Z? That's another weird one.
I do actually, sir, know the letter Z.
All right, then you're good.
Or Z, if you prefer. That was one of the small.
I do prefer.
I very much prefer Zed. I don't know what he's talking about.
Z. Maybe this relationship isn't gonna work out.
Oberon pats you on the shoulder, Waldo, and he's like, "Ah, don't worry, I get it."
Greg and I, as Americans, Ira, are like, oh shit.
We're outnumbered.
Making the conscious decision to say Zed.
It's fine, actually. Sonny thinks they're different letters.
Yes.
That's so good.
Yeah, Zed has the line in the mid that goes through the
Yeah,
middle
yeah,
that
yeah.
sometimes
Yeah,
people
yeah.
write. Yeah.
And then Z's like the curvy one, so it's fine.
Canada goes and takes a small sip from every single of the 16 cups of tea, chooses his favorite one, and goes, "All right, everybody else, take your pick," and goes off. And would you remember what was in this one? Because this is really good.
Right, sir, that's the 2 milks and the 4 sugars, sir. That's no problem at all. I'll write that down on my list, sir. And he takes out a piece of paper and it's just like a drawing
Yeah.
of like different cups, and he's gonna add that on.
Oh man,
Yeah, this is good. More milk than tea. That's what I said.
more sugar than anything else.
All right, everyone.
My
pick your
sugar
tea.
have a little tea in
We
it.
are a bit low on sugar now. I've got to be honest with you, sir, because I've got an honest a policy of honesty, sir. When I'm working on a vessel, I don't like to cause no trouble. Now, I have eaten most of the sugar because I haven't eaten in a week, sir. So we're a bit low on that, but that's all right. You can take it out of me pay, sir.
I'm surprised you're talking.
Why?
Oh, sir, I've gone longer now. Back in the siege back on. Oh, that was back in 31 on Ibrax. Oh, that was I had to do a solid 3 weeks, and it was just. It was just me and Petey and Slider, and we just had one bag of tea bags between us, sir. But we made it work. Well, they didn't make it, but I made it work, sir.
Sorry, let me clarify. If you're about 17, that was when Sonny was 9.
I was 6. Yeah. Yeah, I was
man.
about 9. Yeah.
This is the saddest child I've ever seen. And Doc Kelly just grabs a random tea and pours a little bit of the whiskey in it.
Do any have not are any lacking milk and sugar? I take it kind of strange.
Yeah, there's one. There's one with nothing in it. There's one with just sugar. There's one with just milk.
Well, I guess I'll take the 2 that don't have any coloration and just take my chances, and I just pick up one of them. And Luke, do I pick up the one that has the sugar or not? And how much sugar is in the one that has sugar?
Why don't you roll real quick? You just roll just tell me whether it's odd or even.
Odd.
Odd. You managed to get the one without any sugar in it, but it's really it's been brewed for a long time.
It's real bitter. Okay, got it.
It's got a little metal tang to it.
Wow, that tastes just like the pot and not like tea at all. That is impressive. How long has this been seeping for?
I got here. I'd say, how long have you guys been at the pub? How long has the ship been unattended?
A while, at least an hour.
An hour is pretty funny.
Yeah, I like to think that probably carried on and I were catching
Definitely
up.
under 2 hours, sir. Not more than that. Now I wouldn't say at all, sir.
Oh wow, that's terrible. Let me try this other one. It's like, wow, I didn't know that you could make metal taste sugar. I thought one would cancel it out, but I just taste both. This is
incredible.
This is really good. Thank you.
Gotta have the milk, mate. Gotta have the milk.
Is the milk expired?
Oh, yeah.
Is the milk expired? No, the milk is turning, but it's still in date.
Okay.
It's just textured. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know we had 16 teacups around this place.
Oh,
Where'd
it's
you find
amazing
them?
you can find, sir, with a bit of tidying up, sir. So, always need a good porter, and that's what I say. And I thought to myself when I saw this ship, what had no porter in it, and got on board, sir.
You said you had a lot of the sugar just as food. Do we actually have just actual food in the place, or did you just not want to? We do have food, and you didn't have to eat the sugar.
I didn't want to go poking around, sir.
Can I
It
open
wouldn't
the
be
fridge?
polite, sir.
Hand you not the fridge. I just take a slice
It's a
of bread.
fridge, probably.
I take the slice of
fridge.
bread and just hand you some bread and go this is better than sugar, I imagine. I mean, it's
Oh, all of it, sir.
sure, it's fine.
You're like, no, I have a gluten intolerance.
Yeah, just the crust, obviously.
The crispy. Oh, this is the best day ever, sir. Oh, I'll be taking one of those cups of tea if you don't want any more of it, sir. And I'm gonna take cup number 14.
Once it's clear that everybody has a cup, Oberon goes around and takes all of the rest of them and disappears with them.
Like that.
They're not literally. As he walks off somewhere, he's like, I'm just gonna help myself to what's left.
How is he holding them all? There's probably 12 cups on the counter
exactly.
now.
Hooked between several fingers. There's tea spilling
This
everywhere.
is like a monstrosity. They're just
Yeah, exactly. He's balancing it. It's fine.
Hands are gonna be full cleaning up after the Mad Navigator, but he's
That
a
is-
good man.
That is impressive. Wow.
Oh, don't worry, sir. I mean that's what we used to say back when I was working on the old corporate vessel. Cleaning jobs just a source of extra food. Someone's got to clear those bins. It doesn't matter where it goes.
Oh God. All right. Well, I think we probably. I need a. Can we go back to my home planet? I know that I know that IT guy, right? I know an IT guy, and I also need to collect some things for my house. How long are we going to be on this trip? How long do you think it's going to take to find this? Do you want me here the whole time? I have a work contract. It says
Gonna
at least
keep
a
you here.
year.
Gonna be honest with you. We can make no guarantees as to the length and duration of your trip. And I do think that on account of the sensitivity of the materials and the possibilities of murder, I'm not going to let you out of my sight until we've got this done.
Okay,
I'll let you out of my sight, but like I'm not gonna. You're gonna stay on the ship.
So the contract you signed covers my employment for a year, but I actually have a special deal. If you want to go ahead and secure me for 3 years, I can take 20% off my services per year. So it actually it's a pretty good deal. Here you go, Carrobis.
Yes, I do. You were talking about the mission specifically to decode this treasure map.
Yes. I'll have to get in contact. I don't want to, we don't want to like call anyone, leave any traceable lines.
Is the treasure map like on the table?
It's just
Did
a
you put it
big
down?
hard drive, right? Isn't it like this?
Yeah,
How big is it?
we didn't scan any of the data. We literally just removed the hard drive from the
Yeah, I kind of like I'm picturing in my head what's more like in a real computer like a motherboard sort of thing, and that like it looks kind of like like boards with things coming out of it. But yeah, I imagine it's about like that kind of size.
Okay, yeah, it's just there, like it's got like a mug resting on it. Like...
Yeah.
I've eaten like half the bread, and I'm putting the rest of it away for later, and I'm.
Just like in your pocket.
Yeah, no, I just like stuff it like in between like two of the layers, and it vanishes.
It warms.
I'm like examining this thing.
Holy shit!
With interest.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it would take longer than like 2 weeks. It'd probably be fine. We'll be over and done with really quickly, I'm sure.
Like how
Home for Christmas.
you just agreed it'd be like 2 weeks and you signed me a contract for 3 years. Truly unhinged.
I've decided that Caradog cannot judge time or estimate time very well.
You just goes on vibes.
Oh, he's got ADHD.
We were in that pub for what, like 12 hours or something? I don't know.
Sounds about right.
And your sort of general kind of vibes about government and Atticus Palace specifically, just kind of testing the waters a little bit. What are we talking there in terms of you love him, you hate him?
Are you talking me, or are you talking to the kid?
Both of you.
Oh, I don't really care.
Just as the new crew members, I feel like it's important that you kind of understand what... I mean, the treasure map is fun, but like what we're really here for is to kill Palace, so
right,
I just want to make sure we're all on board with that. Well, that's the end goal.
So I don't know a lot about Palace. What's your beef with him? That maybe you can paint me a picture of why he must die?
Well, he flooded my entire city. Well, I assume it was him. I kind of just put 2 and 2 together because it was like a government scheme. Flooded my entire city to provide water for a different city. So, fuck that guy.
I actually know a girl who that happened to. Her name was Rhiannon.
Yeah. It's I don't.
She died of the pneumonia a while later.
Oh dear. Okay, never mind. But yeah, and so that kind of just really put me and set me off, and kind of just generally sort of spiraled there, and so yeah, I mean, eventually, I'm just gonna kill him, but yeah, it's taken a bit longer than I was expecting. I thought it would kind of be done by now. Turns out I don't know where he is, and
you can't rush these. You can't rush these things, Captain. Don't worry. As long as it takes, we'll be here. And Doc Kelly like sort of looks at Waldo like.
Is this like an event I would have heard about? That's just like obviously like some sort of natural disaster, but he just thinks.
I think it is. It is a genuine grievance. I think that.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether this would make the news.
It would just be one of a great many atrocities that the Order have committed.
Yeah.
So it probably wouldn't be
okay.
news.
So there's probably actually some factual like. It's not just a natural disaster.
It's the sort of stuff the mainstream media wouldn't tell you.
The mainstream media is mostly going to be talking about like the Order Alliance War and stuff like that, and broadcasting it like these rebel scum and things like that. They're not really going to broadcast that like they flooded a city to build a dam. Like I mean that's just Order business.
So you're a rebel, sir?
Sure.
Oh, Matt, you always used to say you all go and find a rebel vessel to work on. They'll treat you right, unless they're one of the murdering ones, in which case they might not. So.
Well, we are murderers, but like I think we'll treat you well.
They do a small amount of.
Well, as long as murder goes out rather than in, sir, it don't bother me, Captain.
All right.
Yeah, that's my general rule: is murder out, Hugs in. Sure, that's the motto of the Quicksilver.
We're out, hugs in.
Waldo's
Love it.
like
Well, Captain, it's just a pleasure to work for you, sir.
Waldo's like want for adventure is like starting to be outweighed for his sense of dread as to what's happening. But then he needs to remember, like, this is what you said, this is what you want. This is literally exactly what you've been looking for. Adventure. And okay. So he just like calmly composed himself like, all right, whenever you're ready then.
Yeah, I mean, have we in these days? I mean, I guess we would have made our sort of preparations about buying supplies and
Yeah.
and food and such. I mean,
Captain, Captain, if you've got give me permission, you and Waldo Duke here can sort out whatever you need. Sonny, you haven't eaten in a week.
Oh no, sir, I just had some bread a moment ago. I'm all right.
Listen, that's still not good. I'm gonna have to give you some sort of medical examination if that's all right.
Oh no, sir, I never say yes to a medical examination. That was another piece of Matty's wisdom. That's how Peter got taken off by the slavers, sir. No, I wouldn't be at that now.
Well then.
you heard the boy.
I just don't want you dying out there. Listen, and if it makes you feel any better, I'm not a real doctor.
Oh, well, I mean, I think I might be able to trust you then, sir. I mean, if you insist, I think like Sonny is like so thin.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I think Sonny is like
Just
normal shaped.
emaciated.
Sonny's like normal shaped, and then like he like unpeels some layers, and it's like all clothes.
Dear me.
Oh no.
It's fine.
Oh, poor boy.
He's fine.
It's fine.
He's had like 10 sugar packets.
Let's get you hooked up to an IV.
Just get new blood in. Just start from scratch.
Get rid of
Start
it.
again.
Full, it's fine.
Total reset. Yeah.
Oh man.
What other preparations do we need to do before we're gone? Should we go out? Like, we've done our shopping, we've got our basic supplies, but like,
Well, I think part of what was like holding you guys up was not really knowing where to go, and Waldo has some connections that if they're not even, they might not necessarily be able to decrypt the hard drive for you, but they're going to be able to point you in the right direction. It's more of a lead than you've had. So if you guys wanna, if you guys want to take to the stars, as it were,
yeah.
you're basically ready to go, unless there's anything else you want to do in the port.
I don't. Should we start another gang war just for fun? Just a gig, so.
Oh,
Are there any gangs? No, you said there
from the
weren't
other room. Captain, we shouldn't make a habit of that.
any. I mean, yeah, I suppose not. It's just, makes a mark. It gets our name out there. It's.
Speaking of that, did we get any sort of reputation as kind of a mechanic we haven't touched on because
That's true.
we've never
yes.
really done a grift before? Are we starting at like 0 reputation because it's technically the start of the campaign, or are we going to consider the
That's a great question, actually. So, so just for the listeners' reputations, just a loose like system for the GM basically to keep track of how well known the crew are and stuff like that. Because you guys have successfully completed a grift, I am going to say, you do have a little bit of reputation because word is eventually going to get around that you guys took, or at least were reported to have gone to the wreck of the Gwilym, even if. Yeah, exactly. Sources say. So I'm gonna say you guys have 1 reputation just to begin with.
And remind me what that does mechanically.
Nothing necessarily mechanically, but I can use it as a guide to basically just
Okay.
to see how well known you guys are. If you guys have like 50 reputation, you're going to be known wherever you go, unless you make an effort to hide that. Right now, it's highly unlikely anyone's going to have heard of your exploits specifically. Once you start accruing a little bit more, it might be more likely that you'll be able to pull in and be like, well, we're the crew of the Quicksilver. Be afraid or whatever.
Oh, true.
And then they're gonna be like, "Who's that?" And then it's like, "Oh, it's the Smooth Soirees." And then,
Oh, that's you.
Should we have 2 different reputation scores for Quicksilver and then Smooth Suarez?
I think we'll keep it simple and we'll just go for 1.
Wally, where are we headed to meet these sort of tech friends of yours, these tech whizzes? You seem to know.
I have not thought too far ahead as to where Waldo's actually from, just that he ended up on Australia. What would be kind of a very kind of standard place that that's like kind of big in tech? Like what's it like tech?
there's
thing?
let me look at my list of locations. The first thing that comes to mind is if the essentially the biggest colony that isn't Earth is Hero Prime, which is just a big metropolis. So you could be from anywhere there, and it's rich enough that they would have of great need for accountants. If you want to go posher or less posh, let me know, and I'll go up or down the scale.
No, Hero Prime sounds good then, because that's also that's a location that pops up in actual Green Horizon.
It's a very it's a very like hub location where intergalactic travel is involved. So we would all know Hero Prime.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's in the same system as Westralia.
No, it's not. It's
so you guys will have to travel through wormholes and stuff, but you're not wanted necessarily. Like, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you guys have some means of passing through wormholes, despite the fact that your ship is stolen. Probably because the ship itself is, like, you probably stole it off, like, somebody
if you steal a ship from some voiders and then pay money for documentation, it's yours.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And, like, we're only in trouble with voiders, so they don't have an
Exactly.
illegal existence, so they're not going to report us to the order. So we're clean.
We're good.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think Sonny has a citizenship, but he hasn't said that, so...
Yeah. I don't think that, like, as long as an Inquisitor doesn't come on board your ship specifically, you should be fine.
Okay.
Which
So-
could be a fun
So
concept.
be like, well, you know,
Yeah.
I worked in Uptown, but if we go towards downtown, you know, I know some guys. I know that's where we're gonna have to go to get this thing looked at.
Sounds good.
But I do need to get some stuff for my house, especially we're gonna be on a trip. I have another fridge I'd like to bring on board. I have a lot of food. I'm a kind of.
I always say the more fridges, the better.
You know, I believe that's something you would say, and
Thank you.
yeah, that's wise words of wisdom. I also have a dog. You know,
A dog, amazing.
a dog. We can leave
Oh,
it.
dog! Domestic or agricultural, sir?
But both.
Both.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I
Right.
turned to Doc. I'm like, wait, agricultural? Like.
Well, I
farming?
believe he's wondering if you eat it, or perhaps in the case of a lady dog, if you milk it.
I do love dog milk in my cereal. In fact, Gregson, take a note. Dog milk in my tea from this point forward.
Dog milk, sir, and I'm drawing a little picture of a dog with like a big
dog milk
udder.
has a particular flavor that certain voiders get attached to.
Paul, are you listening?
Holy
Dog
shit.
milk. Dog milk.
Can we come up as a group with a name? What kind of dog is it, and what name should we give it?
Ooh.
If this is gonna be like the
I feel like
ship's-
Waldo would give his dog a really stupid, like a name that's just like a person's full first and last name.
Dave.
What's the most impractical dog for a voider to have? And like,
Probably
what's
some
the...
really big, like a Great Dane or a Labrador. or
I was
something.
thinking because that's
like a
good in, like,
Tibetan
in a
Mastiff.
fight.
Yeah.
I was thinking something small and useless.
Oh, that kind of inconvenient, like a
Yeah, yeah.
Greyhound,
Basset
because they're
hounds.
quite big, but they're also quite lazy.
What about an
and quite
Italian
light.
greyhound? Because they're small and
Look
just
that
look
up.
like normal greyhounds.
Italian Greyhound?
Have you ever seen
I'll
Italian
Google that.
greyhounds? They're
Yeah.
adorable.
Everybody quickly break out the Googles.
Italian
And you
greyhounds
guys
are
watching at
adorable.
home.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow!
That dog looks like a wind would carry it away.
Yeah,
Jesus.
that thing looks
Oh,
so
yeah.
sad.
They're
Oh,
they're
gosh.
shaky like chihuahuas
Yeah.
or poodles.
Yes.
But
Okay. Yes.
but still pretty fast and affectionate like normal greyhounds.
Incredible. They look.
Oh, I love that.
I'm looking at one picture. It looks like an alien.
Yes. Okay, so it's a Italian greyhound. Let me roll the dice. All right, odd. So it's going to be female, so we can milk it. Oh god.
All right.
No. It was gonna get milked no matter what.
Kai, no!
No! Get off the stream!
And that concludes this entire actual play.
This was a
Wrap
mistake.
it up.
Done, folks. That's a wrap.
Naughty.
Kai, you're reaching new lows.
So what's the name then? So we got a female Italian greyhound. I think
Oh,
it
what
would
if we
be
called it Lowry? Because it's a new low. And
Oh my God,
Lowry-
Lowry's great.
Okay, I like
There
it.
we go.
Lowry. Well, how do you spell that? Lowrie? That's
Yeah.
Lowry. No, that's
I was thinking, why?
It's R-Y, I think. Lowry.
Yeah.
Someone needs to
Well,
write
I
this
conjured
somewhere
that name from
because
my mind, I don't
can't.
know.
I cannot picture this for some reason.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it written. I think it's Lowry. If your
Maybe
name
this was just Waldo's idea of giving his dog an original name. Like that
True.
was.
Can
If
I
your
That was
name-
him trying to use his rusty imagination for like the first time.
can I
in
do
years.
it like typical white people that like spell their
Yeah,
daughters' names with like extra vowels and consonants for no reason?
The stream, I don't think we'll be able to see it, but
It's like okay, so it'd be LHOWWR hyphen Y.
oh, it's got I think
Hyphen
EIGH. I think the more letters, the better.
Yeah, I like going with the EIGH. Yeah.
Okay, I need someone else to write this out now because now I can't picture it.
Oh, here I'll put it in the stream.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh yes.
We're figuring this out live on stream. This is amazing.
How
Oh,
would
Lowry.
you,
Oh, with the AO, that's good.
Yeah.
how
that's
would
good.
you spell
Lowry.
it with like
Holy
Irish
shit.
phonetics?
Um.
Let's
like
look at
probably
the-
like the first one, to be honest, because that's
Bob-
where
Oh,
with
hey,
a,
you know what? Also,
with a
while we're talking
fada
about this,
over the eye, probably like a.
Cool.
Sorry, that's an
like
accent.
Sean.
there are
Yeah.
5 people in stream. If anybody's got dumb ideas.
Yeah, please.
So please submit your name, your spelling of Larry for the chance to win a prize. We will.
The prize
Organize
is
a
a dog
card.
named after you. Well, named after your suggestion.
We'll name the dog after you if your suggestion's good enough.
Your first name could be the dog's surname.
So okay, we can circle around back to the dog then. I guess we should probably get to actually getting to.
Wait until we meet
Hero
the dog.
Prime. Right.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. So like, Hammer Prime is probably like a bit away from Westralia. I understand wormhole travel is basically like instant once you get to the wormhole, but getting there can obviously take some time, and I don't know how far Hera Prime's wormhole is, like from the planet itself. But yeah, like I mean, as I said, you guys aren't wanted. You're not really in any danger right now. So it will take a number of days, but I think you can get there without any issue.
Is that your way of saying we're doing a bottle episode?
I don't know what a bottle episode is, I'm afraid.
Oh,
Is it like it's like in
yeah.
oh, this might be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's like when they do sitcoms and they don't want to like spend too much money, so they just do them one location the whole time. So basically, the whole episode
exactly
takes place in one thing.
Oh wow! No, we're going to Hera Prime. I'm just saying it doesn't take
Yeah.
very long.
Okay,
we're
fine.
going now.
I have this new game for y'all that we can play while we pass the time. It's called A New Low. And actually, you can download it on this website right now. And you just give you can give the creators some money for it too. It's really, really great. I think we should all download and play it.
On
Yeah,
Scratch,
on this shit.
Scratch.io.
Scratch.io. Quality content.
Gotta plug.
Sorry, everyone. I'm sorry, everybody watching.
I'm not.
Everybody who's like, I'm very invested in the Green Horizon lore. I hope this actual play, is very consistent.
If you're interested in the Green Horizon lore, download the book. If you're interested in seeing what we get up to, keep watching.
Or do both.
Or do both.
Or do both.
Yeah.
Definitely
Both.
do.
Yeah, we won't. I don't think we won't get into too high antics and stuff, but I do think it would make sense to for you guys to meet Waldo's contacts and at least know where you're going to be going next session and stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, basically we're just you guys have a good time probably on the Smooth Suarez as you're traveling through Westralian space.
How long
It
does
does-
it take?
I don't know, because if I give a date, Paul's going to hang me for it. But it takes a couple of days. So I don't think it's an uncomfortably long voyage. But it's enough time to kind of get to know each other a little bit. By the time you arrive at Hera Prime, you're not complete strangers.
So, Oberon, what's your entire life story?
Oberon starts on the first day of travel, and 7 days later, when you arrive at Hera Prime, he's still not done.
Did we hear any more Greg's Son really,
And so-
really depressing stories
I'm
on
losing
the
the
way
stream
to
a little bit.
Many.
Many.
Oh,
okay.
lots.
That's
Ooh.
good. That's good. I'm glad I'll be clinically depressed by the end of this trip.
Is this the most you've eaten ever?
Yeah, how is Sunny's medical treatment?
Well, yeah, I think definitely due to it seems like several stints of prolonged starvation. You got a problem with potassium, so Well, I don't have that many supplements, but be sure to.
Oh, I've never had potassium, sir. And now I've had TB, and I've had smallpox, and I've had cowpox as well, sir.
All right, grab yourself a banana from the fridge.
One whole one for me, sir.
An entire banana for you. Captain doesn't like them. Some about the texture.
They rot the other fruits.
Isn't this actual?
It's not even
lore,
the inside texture of the banana that. Sorry, say again.
Go.
Sorry, isn't that actual Kai lore that you don't like bananas?
No.
Oh,
You're making
fuck.
things up about me on stream.
I don't know. I feel like I'm having like a
True Kai facts. Kai is 8 feet tall and he hates bananas.
I'm having this weird deja vu about Kai's disdain for bananas, and I don't know why.
Kai once killed 14 people.
They do make other fruits rot faster. That's true. Caradog is not wrong about that.
Wow. What about itself? Is like 2 bananas next to each other make it rot faster than 2 bananas?
Yeah, I think so.
No, they actually cancel each other out.
And they last
No,
forever.
bananas
They
last
don't.
forever.
They are releasing ethene gas, I think is the gas, and
This is what I remember.
makes them rot faster. Oh,
from my-
Luke.
My GCSE.
No, they cancel each other out. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Kelly,
Ethan
like
is-
Doc Kelly though is like there's some like janky like game controller looking medical scanner if there's something I imagine, and it's probably like. Now the strange thing is, you've got a weird amount of wiry muscle mass here on account of how many times your body's into ketosis. Hardly any fat on you there, son.
Well,
That's not good.
It's not good, is it? Right, well, you don't want to get in too good shape, sir. You don't want to be too attractive to those slavers, so you always got to keep a lookout. I know I'm older than I used to be, sir, but...
How old are you?
Oh, definitely older than 10, sir.
Okay.
All right.
I
Let's
don't
just-
think I've gone as far as 19, sir.
Like, when's your birthday? Do you have a date for that?
Well... Hang on.
Just does like.
Well, sir, it depends on whether or not you're looking at the Gregorian calendar, the Janusian calendar. There's the Primean calendar, because well, I got muddled in translation, sir, so I'm not that good at remembering, sir.
Right. She would just say it's today and then remember next time.
Today's my birthday, sir.
Happy
I'll
birthday.
write it down. I'll write
Oh
it down.
wow!
Today is
One appears from somewhere, like shooting off like a party popper.
Oh, I'm treating myself for that. And I take out the bread that Caradog gave me a few days ago.
We put a
look
candle
around
in the
the room.
single piece of bread as like the cake.
Sort of look around the room and just hand you a single egg. Go, happy birthday, boy.
For no explicable reason, you do have a cake in the fridge. You're just not using it.
No, that's for Caradog.
That's not even his birthday cake. That's his killing Atticus Palace cake.
Wow, celebrating early, aren't we?
Well, that's why he hasn't
He's
had it
saving
yet.
it.
I'm saving it. Yeah. For when it
It's gone
happens.
moldy.
Yeah.
Well, while we're here, can I take a look at your ledger? Do you have a
A who now?
a ledger? You keep a track.
There's
of all
a
your
window ledge over there, sir, if you need one.
No. It's
Yeah, the ledge.
Don't you open don't open the window right now. We're in space.
We'll all die, you idiot.
Do you have receipts? Do you have a list of transactions from
For what?
For the ship, your business? Is this a business? Is this a proper business?
Well, I like to think it is, so yeah.
Define business.
Can't exactly leave a paper trail though, Captain. I don't think we should give him any.
Have you earned money by being
Not
captain
yet.
of this ship?
Oh.
Okay.
Have I?
I kind of feel like Caradog probably stole the ship with Kelly and then ended up in Best for a while laying low and then got the Cucullin
So
job.
it's a recent kind of development. Like
Yeah,
okay. In which case, no, we are not a business, but we will be once we decode this treasure map. So I don't know if that changes anything.
Okay, just sign this. I'll deal with all the paperwork.
Okay, sure.
That's my favorite bit.
It's-
All right, don't worry.
it needs to keep
I'll
going.
handle it. Do you have a digital wallet somewhere where I can see what you've paid for with this?
Yeah. Paid. Yeah. I'll get back to you on that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll do it.
For anyone interested in the Discord for Maximum Light, Paul has said that the Crocagator is now canon.
Yes. We have a non-zero amount of effect on the proper canon now, and I'm proud of us.
That's my greatest achievement.
Good job,
We
team.
did contribute something to the arts eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, team.
Cool. Yeah, receipts. I mean, so right. When do you pay for things? Do you use physical money, or is it all just like digital fake money?
There are credit sticks, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are credit
There are
sticks.
physical credits.
And
I'd
people
probably
will sometimes use like things in lieu of credits.
Okay.
Resilium in particular.
You can
So
still do the whole here's a gold watch
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of
The barter
a
system
money thing.
kind of thing.
So I probably won't have receipts then. I won't have like a digital kind of record of the things I've been buying, because when I tap with my phone to buy something, that's like being kept on the Google Pay thing. But like, there's no way
that's like the digital wallet, right? That Waldo was asking about, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't have that, do we? Because we're trying to keep a low profile, so we just
Yeah,
use...
You've probably found some means of paying that can't be traced.
Yeah.
Okay,
Gotcha.
cool. In which case, no receipts really. We can go back and ask people. We can like try and sort of follow ourselves back, but I think we'd be going back on ourselves a little bit.
So
Oberon kind of like tips his hat and he's like, "It's bad luck to have too many receipts. Invites all manner of catastrophe. That the
Oberon,
devil can follow you with those."
Oberon, I love you so much.
He's being legit.
How long have you had the ship, though? I'm gonna have
like 5 weeks. I don't know. That's probably so wrong, but that's just
Carrobis can't judge time.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm just gonna
Probably
make you a
less than
paper
that, I
trail
think.
for the past 4 years. How about that?
Sure.
Like a fake one. Like I'm just going to absolutely just fudge a shit ton of numbers to make Caradog look like a legitimate business person for like 5 years, and
Yeah.
it's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of fraud here.
A tremendous amount of fraud going on here.
Good.
Love to see it. It is such by the time that you arrive at the wormhole, though, you've got like a fairly watertight like alibi and paper trail and stuff if you get inspected. I don't think you guys do. I think you guys get sent on. I mean, you get inspected the regular amount, which is probably a lot given that it's the order, but you don't get like boarded individually or whatever. They once they say everything's in order, I think they wave you through. But yeah, you have to do a lot of gymnastics, Waldo, to make sure that everything is above board.
Ship evaluation. I'll just add a 0. I'll add another 0 past that. That's fine. There's just a lot of that kind of exasperated. I don't fucking know. Kind of guessing.
Jeez. Where'd you get that from? Don't answer that. You don't know. Okay.
If anyone asked where this couch came from, you bought it here on the side of the road for approximately 18 apples. Don't ask. That's all you're gonna tell them.
That's all you need to know. Sick.
But yeah, after a couple of days of travel and much more of this antics, I'm sure, you guys arrive at Hera Prime, and Hera Prime, as Manta said, is like the big colony outside of Earth. It's it's like an Earth 2 practically. It's a huge like. I don't know. I assume the majority of the planet, if not literally all of it, is covered in like urban sprawl and stuff like that. It's certainly a very dense, highly populated place. There's a lot of space traffic, even in the the farther reaches of the system.
I love sci-fi.
we love it.
It's so good.
I think Waldo, just for sake of simplicity here, you're probably from like the capital city on Hera Prime. I don't know. I think there are individual like cities and nations and stuff on Hera Prime, but just like for sake of simplicity, you're from the main center of where it's all happening, because that's probably where accountants would be most in demand. And so you guys dock on one of the planet-side spaceports, essentially. I think the Quicksilver is probably capable of atmospheric flight in at least some capacity, enough to dock on the planet at any rate. And this huge metropolis, towering skyscrapers, that kind of thing. The excesses of both like wealth and decadence, but also like depravity and squalor laid bare before you. Because I imagine the spaceport is like high up on some raised thing, either on a building or it's so you don't have to transit through quite as much as the atmosphere or navigate the buildings or what have you. Again, Paul's probably tearing his hair out, but like Damn it! I got a show to run, Paul.
We take like regular 20-minute breaks for Paul to explain the lore to us. So
Yeah,
then we
exactly.
go, okay, cool. So yes, it's there.
So you live in what I imagine is a kind of like middle class-y kind of area of the city. Like it's bordering the upper town, but I don't think Waldo's like mega rich or anything. Would that be correct?
I think he probably has like a lot of student debt, so I'd say
Yeah.
he's like living super frugal. He'd be like, oh, there's my apartment right there, and it's like a window that's approximately like a foot and a half by a foot and a half.
Yeah.
You know, like 300 square feet at most. You know, not very,
Love to see
very,
it.
very modest apartment.
Absolutely. But yeah, you go track down your apartment. I don't think we got any other suggestions in the chat. We did not. So Lowry is the dog's name.
Fucking love that dog.
Do you want to spell it with the W or with the like the or the OAR?
Oh, I
sort
don't
of,
know. What's worse?
I feel like we could combine the two of them. I feel like we're missing a combination here that's like LOAWR.
Yeah,
there we
that's
go.
right. Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
do that.
Yeah,
that is
that's-
amazing. LOAWREIGH. Okay, I
Yeah.
love it.
Maybe a Y at the end as well, just for like.
Ooh, excuse me.
Yes. Okay, let's
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Lowry. You have to make sure you pronounce the Y though.
Yeah, Lowry.
Oh,
Do you
Lowry. Look.
Do you have anyone to look after Lowry?
Oh yeah, someone's been stopping in.
That's
Like,
fine.
okay.
That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. The dog's not
You
like
just come back
dead.
and it's dead.
Oh no!
No,
What
I'm-
did-
Ah, fuck.
I'm a great dog owner. I love my Lowry. I would not give it such a beautiful name if I didn't love her so much.
So-
A lot of
so
love
true.
went into that name.
Of course.
Do we need to do a character sheet for Lowry?
We can do one after the session. But Waldo, is there anything specific other than Lowry, of course? Is there anything specific you'd like to collect from your apartment before you go?
the fridge?
The fridge.
Yeah, how are we transporting that to the ship?
Probably pay a porter of some description.
It's
It's
too...
me. I'm just dragging it.
the kid's got it. Yeah, it's like not big enough to go through the window. I'd be like, oh, you could pull the ship right up to the window. We could throw it in, but it's not like big enough. Actually, it's just a mini fridge, so we could probably
Okay.
get it through the window. So,
Yeah.
it's yeah. Let's do that. Let's, Caradog, can you pull the ship around to the window?
I have no idea if you can fly ships through cities in this universe.
Are we allowed?
I don't know.
I am inclined
I
to
think
say
it'd be
that
really
you're
funny if we're
Yeah.
not allowed.
Yeah, I don't think
How
carrying it under arm.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to carry it back.
Oh, okay.
I like to think you live in a really big skyscraper as well, on like an uncomfortably high up floor. So it's like, and like the lift is broken right now, so it's a lot of stairs.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah.
Sonny
Sorry.
and Wolf spend an extremely meaningful 3 hours getting the mini fridge down the stairs.
You know, there's a lot of perks for being on the 172nd floor. There's a great view of. There's just like 4 other buildings that like directly surround. They're also just as tall, so you don't even actually get the view because it's just dwarfed by the other buildings around it.
Yeah, basically. But Waldo's like, yeah, great view.
Yeah,
At this specific time, we get like 12 minutes of sun, and it's beautiful.
it's amazing.
It reflects off all the other buildings and shines directly into my room. Ah,
Oh,
why
and I
I'm
can't
paying so
forget.
much.
I have like, I have like a very resilient plant because there's no sunlight. It's like it's specifically a bamboo because they can just grow everywhere. So
Yeah.
I've got this little itty bitty bamboo that's like a nice like lattice kind of formation that I'm really really happy and proud of. And I can't forget this. So a fridge, the dog, and a bamboo, and then I have a suitcase full of
TV.
No.
She took TV.
She took
Can
the
I?
TV.
Can I just like loot your house?
Yeah, I mean,
I just go, You're leaving all of this, Waldo? Or...
yeah, my lease is up at the end of the month, so I guess it just won't renew, and so I guess
Right, yeah.
take what we can. I mean, I've got my just my suitcase just full of beige polos and slightly different colors of like khaki pants, like dress pants. They're all slightly different beiges. I'm not a man of no taste, just very little.
Doc Kelly is raiding your medicine cabinet.
Yeah.
Just
Canadwick
stuffing
is
it
just
in
like
the bag.
stuffing pockets full of cutlery and just like plates and kind of putting into like a backpack or whatever. Just like
I'm
more
really
mugs.
All mugs.
You know, just more mugs. Like, didn't realize we had 16, but now I want to start a collection.
I want more.
Are you actually a father?
No, no kids.
Okay.
I'm a little impotent. Sorry, there's a little too much.
Damn.
It's part of the way that
You're gonna volunteer that information.
well,
I mean, it's just like my old dad said, you know, never have kids.
Wow.
Speaking of, I found these is Laurie, does Laurie still have worms? I found this leftover worms medication.
oh,
You
sorry,
want
that was for me. We went on a vacation
Alright.
and
Okay, all right.
and I just kind of I just hand it to Greg, and I'm like, you'll probably need this. You seem to run into trouble.
I just eat all the pills.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'm just popping them.
No. I've heard dog dewormer cures a lot of ills, and that's really good for you.
I
Never already
finished
announced
medical school, and I can tell you that is not true. We're gonna you're gonna throw up later.
Throw
Aw.
There's like
Why?
I was just like, there's like an old slice of pizza in the fridge. It's been there for a few weeks. It's really bad. Just sniff this and go throw up. You're gonna don't.
I
eat
take that and I also start eating it.
No.
Oh, no.
This is getting worse.
I take a bite out of it. I'm putting it in like my layers of clothing. It's in there now. It is no longer detectable.
Is this going to be like a sort of bag of holding, basically, where you just go, oh, we need lockpicks. Don't worry.
Oh no, it's just food. Like I'm
Okay.
keeping stuff in there for later.
Oh, we need this really specific kind of apple. Oh, don't worry, skip it.
Give me a minute.
Greg said's character sheet. Like, Sam, your inventory list is probably going to be like, you'll probably need a whole separate document for this.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Well, I'm working
Gregson's
through the
inventory.
food slowly.
True,
like,
true.
I'm munching away. I'm getting
Munching
like 500 calories a day.
Well, eventually the food will just turn into like mold. So then you will have like, oh, I have 4 stacks of mold in my inventory. That's
I like to think that that's how the very nondescript armor has managed to form. Is that there's like a thick crust.
Oh no! Like spores are released whenever somebody touches you.
It's gonna.
Just poison damage every
Somehow-
melee attack.
Somehow it's all dry.
Oh no! Somehow it's not better.
Whoever
there's
needs
so
to
much
poison
oil in the
someone.
clothing. You're buoyant, like you just float on water.
That's actually how the void suit works. I don't have one. It's just insulation.
We've just
The
made you an
ecosystem is
exorcist.
generating oxygen for me to breathe.
This is your power armor. It's just...
Yeah, basically.
Oh, my
dear.
fucking god.
Tragic child.
Would you like to go and meet your shady contacts? While we go?
Yeah, we got everything loaded after several hours of trekking things up and down 172 flights of stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. It's called Orange Enterprises. Is who we used to work for.
Yeah.
He now works for Pear. They're a competitor. They're up and coming.
Yeah, they're a big thing.
Yeah.
And like this guy, you know what he like? What is he, you know, shady for? Is he just good at like burning the books, cooking the books, or
Well,
do you
so
think it, like?
this is like my tech
Oh yeah, your
So-
tech contact,
so
of course.
This
Yeah.
guy runs a lot of like weird
This is the IT
like
guy from your office.
schemes.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like I like to think that he's the guy that has all those like really weird like porn ads that are just like ways.
He specifically invented NFTs, or reinvented, I guess. But
He's the descendant of the NFT inventor.
yeah.
They're actually called extra fungible tokens. But it's a different mentality.
The
but
real future is in funging them.
he's the
NFTs.
his
All
code
those
name is Fungifier actually.
Yeah.
So so he's definitely very into the shady, the darkest of the dark web kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So he definitely
The kind of guy who's probably dealing like those cyberpunk, like, you know, like they're called like chips or whatever, but they're like some cyberpunk drug that involves technology.
Yeah,
somehow.
exactly. So yeah, we go and see him as his usual spot. He's just like hangs out at like this like a Cuban sandwich restaurant. Like this like his favorite place ever.
Absolutely.
I'm really hungry, so that's why I'm thinking about Cuban sandwiches. It's just first thing
No,
that popped in my head.
that's absolutely fair. Yeah, you head into Sunset Sandwiches, which is like at the bottom because you're in like downtown and it's a much sort of like shadier dingier area. I think the buildings here are built like, really close, typical cyberpunk dystopia. Like there's smog, there's no real sky. It's just kind of nasty. And the buildings here are as tall as where you were, but they somehow feel more imposing. But this little sandwich place is at like the bottom of one of these towers. And it's a bit busy. It's a bit cramped, but it's mostly like sort of civilians in here. Again, some of them are probably like drug dealers or involved in like back alley business and stuff. But like you guys rock up with like guns and shit.
And I totally have like Lowry in my arms, just like a lapdog's. She's just so great.
Yeah, well, are we allowed to just have like a military grade sniper rifle just on the streets? And no one
I think you guys look like you probably should have them. But I kind of imagine that, like, although the order is very like oppressive and stuff like that, I kind of get the vibe that they, like, in terms of gun control and stuff, they're a lot more lax.
I think the Hero Prime we would probably want to put up a respectable front. I think Hero Prime is quite normal as places go, because there are a lot of rich order workers
That's
here.
That's true, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, you probably have left the obvious.
There's like a big bag
rifles.
that has a rifle in it.
Well,
though.
thing is,
I
don't think I have, is the thing. So I know that makes it harder for us, but I think
you
realistically... Do you want to say?
No, go ahead.
I just think even if it does I'm sorry if this makes it harder for us, I think realistically probably wouldn't leave it behind anywhere. I think
could we
Doc
hide it?
has like strung a towel over the rifle while it was strapped to Carrobis' back, and that's
Do you think we can hide the rifle in the layers of Gregson's clothing?
I'm imagining Gregson is very small, and probably the sniper rifle is taller. So
probably, yeah.
Yeah. So a towel is fine. That's good enough.
Or you could have it in pieces, right? Like collapse.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Like
the
just
probably got a
sniper.
Have that Hitman scene of you like putting it together.
Yeah.
Just carrying a suitcase then with the sniper rifle components in.
Good.
Go.
Yeah, so you go into Sunset Sandwiches anyway, and you find Placide. He's French Premium because fuck it. And he's like, I think like he looks like halfway between like not a tech bro in the sense of like like a Silicon Valley sort of tech bro and like a villain. Like he's got like a sharp little goatee, but he's also wearing the like whatever the sort of
the t-shirt and blazer,
I was gonna say whatever the equivalent of that is.
But then he's like also always eating a sandwich, and that's kind of his redeeming quality because he's here in this place all the time.
He is eating the sandwich with a fork and knife though, so like loses points for that.
What kind of sandwich? Just out of curiosity.
It's a
really messy one.
It's a really like he gets a Cuban sandwich that is like fried in some extra butter with like extra mustard, and like the pickles are on the side, but he puts it on top. I'm painting a very specific picture, but that's just his thing.
Let's go into more detail about this sandwich. I'm curious.
It's so important.
I want a Cuban sandwich so badly.
Stop! You're making Tony
on top
hungry.
or in the middle.
What's that?
Fried in extra butter.
Yeah. No,
what you're looking
I
for,
don't
Tony?
eat the sandwiches like the way I'm describing. I'm just trying to think of the weirdest way to eat a Cuban.
Yeah. But that's definitely it. It's actually it's kind of just pickles, and like. I mean, there are maybe other things in there, but like the main thing you can see is pickles. The main thing you can smell is pickles.
Oh yeah, it's very, very strong pickles.
I just realized that the Zencaster isn't recording.
Oh shit.
No,
that's okay. We're all
that's okay. We have the
right?
individual ones.
Okay, yeah. Shit.
It's
Sorry
fine.
about that.
No, you're good.
We're recording our own, which is better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's fine. No panic, everybody. But yeah. So I think he looks up when you walk in, Waldo, because you've been gone for like a while, and I think you sort of left in, I don't want to say a blaze of glory, but you were like, I'm gonna find myself or whatever. It was like a notable thing amongst the people who knew you. So he kind of looks up at you, walking in with this very ragtag looking bunch, and he's just like, Waldo, you're back so soon.
Yeah, I left for some adventure, and I quickly found it. I actually have this is Caradog.
hello.
This is Doc Kelly. Stefan, and this is Greg's son.
I sir, but my eyes are on the sandwich.
Hello to everyone.
And this is Oberon, who's with us.
He's with you guys right now. He's minding the ship.
Okay, yeah.
He has to stay with it because it has no doors.
Exactly.
We now know how easy it is for somebody.
Yeah.
He's
So you
just in
drew
a rocker
straws.
with a shotgun, just.
Yeah.
I can't wait to blast the first person that comes through the door.
Shame when Carrobis walks in.
Yes, I actually have a little job for you. I thought you were the right person for this. You still into the encryption or de-encryption business?
Well, you could say that. And he hands you guys like all a business card advertising his fungible tokens.
Wow.
Do you want to? It's a new hot thing. Get in now. Everybody's buying it.
We'll talk about that later. And I kind of like just put it in my little polo pocket.
You put it with the other card he gave you.
There is a stack in my wallet of the cards he just keeps giving me. Exact same card.
Yep.
It's like, oh god, I feel like I gotta get rid of these. So we're looking to go somewhere, and we think that location is on a hard drive that we have. The problem is what model was that? Where'd you guys find? I just turned to Garrett. I'm like, where the fuck did you guys find this again?
It was in a shipwreck. So shipwreck model.
It's
scavenge.
a scavenged ship log. Yes,
Okay.
navigation computer.
Yeah.
Um,
I can probably decrypt that. Are you just looking for it to be generally? Are you looking for something specific on the drive? Are you looking to repurpose it? Are you looking?
Should we say?
Wait. All right.
Hat time.
Waldo,
1 second.
tell us straight. How cool is this guy?
Cool enough.
Okay.
Definitely we'll keep an eye on him and we'll like watch him do his process. I like to think that I've seen him do it enough that like if he was gonna try to be sneaky and take information he shouldn't, or like I'd probably know, but we'll see if I can.
We're just looking for something specific on there. We don't know exactly what it'll look like on the navigational logs, but perhaps most recent travel or most frequent travel, or perhaps all the travels. Can you just give us all the travels? Every travel?
That should. I mean, I can just essentially crack it open and just give you the files, and you can go through it in your own time. Once it's
That sounds nice. Thank you.
That seems helpful. Yes.
I'm not going to ask any questions, but do you have it with you? Can I see it? We know.
That's a question now, isn't it, Mike?
I pull it out from like one of my layers. I like appear to have a normal sized stomach, and then I like pull the hard drive out, and the code's just flop.
Inverted. It's just
Into
it's
face.
hugging to you.
This poor kid.
Do you give it to him?
Is he here, sir? And I give it to him.
He kind of looks it over and he's like, "What kind of shipwreck did you get this thing from?" I'm not actually asking that question. I don't want to know.
That's another question. You're really not very good at this.
He pulls out like a really a Pear brand really swish laptop, and he starts hooking up the hard drive essentially, and he's kind of looking at it, and he's he's tapping away at the computer a little bit. Gregson, you could probably try and steal some of his sandwich while he's distracted if you wanted.
I've only been in the crew a few days. I'm not going to risk it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Still a lot of
I'll
my
help
pizza.
Sandwich heist.
Sandwich heist.
Yeah, this is the heist for the session.
New
Yeah.
Gregson, boy.
Sir, Captain?
You've been eyeing that sandwich, aye?
I don't like pickles, sir. I've got standards.
Wow. Okay.
Cut standard.
Never mind. Even this hollow child will not eat pickles on his fucking sandwich. Dear me. Go on.
Oh man. But you basically see Placide, you see him like tapping away at the screen. I think Waldo, you're kind of leaning over his shoulder to make sure he's not doing anything, but it's tech stuff that like he's got the Matrix thing going up the screen, and you just can't figure out.
Yeah, he's
what
going through like screens so fast. I'm like,
yeah,
Can
exactly.
we all lean over? Just like
I mean, yeah, if you want, like, but I mean, I don't think it means anything to most of you guys. I don't think any of you have a good hacking
I've got a
score.
9 in hacking.
My hacking's 10.
I've got a
my
9 in
hacking
hacking as well.
is 7. So mine's
7.
decent. Okay.
Yeah, you know that he's not doing anything that, well, he's doing shady shit, obviously, but nothing that you aren't asking him explicitly to do.
Gotcha.
But like the intricacies of the decryption and stuff, you don't necessarily
Yeah, with everyone
know.
behind me, I'm just like, yeah, we're good.
But he kind of he's kind of going through this a little bit, and like, you know, you can see like progress bars filling up in the screen, and he seems to be making some progress. But then after a little bit, you notice like he's getting like a little bit frustrated, like he sort of, his brow is furrowing a little bit, and he seems to be I think Waldo, you noticed this particularly, he seems to be looping through the same. He's clearly trying to get past something, but it's not working. And eventually he kind of sits back a little bit, and he's like, this seems to need some kind of key, essentially. There's a very strong encryption on this. It's I don't know if you guys know about two-factor authentication, but essentially there's another piece of this component, and normally that would be fine. You know, I mean, even quantum encryption these days can be broken easily enough if you have enough time and a powerful enough machine. But yeah, this essentially needs, you might say, like a dead man switch. It's got a physical component to it, and I don't think I'd be able to replicate it. But if you leave this with me, I probably would be able to figure out. You know, it probably has some kind of, if you will, locator. You know, you have this, you don't want to lose the only thing that can unlock it. I don't know what's on this navigation computer, but it's clearly something important. So I could probably track down where it is in a broad sense.
Oh, okay. He can look up where it is. Okay. I was about to be because when he was suggesting that we leave the hard drive with him, was about to ask if I could roll to see if he's lying or something.
I mean, you can still totally do that.
I'd love to do that.
I think I'm going to say this is a parlay one, because he's like sort of negotiating almost with you guys.
That's not bad, because I've got 6 parlay.
So just for everyone listening at home, so Greg's basically going to take his 4d12, give him a roll, and we'll compare that to the 6 in the parlay that he has.
I got 1 9, 1 7, and then a 4 and a 3. So that's 2 successes.
2 successes. So no consequences, but no advantages either. Yeah, he seems to be telling the truth. It would make sense to you that Satanta would probably have, you know, something where, you know, say if he was off the Cucullin, some random bumfuck in the crew couldn't just walk up and like wipe the navigation computer, especially if there's like, you know, he's got like a secret treasure hoard or something like that. So it sounds reasonable to you, and he does seem genuinely frustrated that he can't just like crack this thing open right now.
I see no issues. How long do you reckon it's gonna be leaving this with you?
No, not long at all. Hour, 2 tops. That kind of way.
I thought we were talking days. Fair.
Oh no, I mean, I can't. I mean, I can't do that much. All it sees is, and then he lists off like a load of like a string of techno babble that doesn't make sense.
Kind of just sitting there, kind of going like,
It's like, and you know, it's simple. Easy
Yeah,
to do. Anybody could do it. You could probably do it.
I'm sure. Why don't I try?
No, let's not. You might damage the data.
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
Maybe get yourself a sandwich. I love this place. Is great. Best
key-
sandwiches.
best
You should try the pickles.
And hair
Can we all get sandwiches?
Yeah,
We
fuck
all
it.
get sandwiches.
Yay.
Gregson,
go-
boy, what do you want sandwich wise?
Oh, all right, let me look at the menu. And he starts sounding out letters from like the top corner. He's going like,
This-
can't.
That says hours. That's the hours they're open. You want to look down at this section.
Okay, can I read out what they?
Yeah, you don't have to ask permission for that.
No, but is it?
Sonny is enthusiastically responding to every sandwich. Like, it doesn't matter. He's like responding with completely equal enthusiasm.
We've got
You start reading out the list of ingredients in one of the sandwiches. He's like, "Oh yeah, sounds great."
We've got a crocagator and cream cheese, on rye. Does that sound okay to you?
Oh, that sounds fantastic, sir.
Sure. We'll have one crocagator. Have two. I look at everybody else. Four.
I'll get a Cuban.
Oh, I was gonna join him on the Cuban there.
2 Cubans and then 3 crocagator's on rye.
3. Is there an extra for someone?
I'm sure Oberon will probably have.
Bring it back to him. Yeah, no problem. I love that you consider Oberon. That's very kind. You're a great ship
He's
captain.
my favorite character in any media ever.
Oberon was gonna have gone back to his ship, and then we started this, and you were like, "I love Oberon." I'm like, "Oh fuck, he's gonna stay there."
Just abandon his
We've
friends and
already
family.
adopted an NPC, and it's session 0. This is amazing.
Yep.
Oh dear.
I mean, I feel like Gregson is almost kind of like an NPC you've adopted.
Yeah,
That's true. Gregson can't die, and he also can't do anything useful. So.
I think because I'm conscious of the fact that the stream's getting on a little bit. I think you guys have a nice sandwich. Like they're good sandwiches. You can see why Spongify comes here every day. All the time? Well, you're not actually sure if you've ever seen him outside of this
I
sandwich place.
literally only know that he exists at this restaurant.
Yeah, like he might be surgically tied to that chair. You don't know. But nonetheless, I don't think he really talks to you guys much as he's doing his tech things. But after about like an hour or two has passed, maybe you guys get some extra sandwiches as well, just to kill the time. He kind of like sits back and he's looking between, I think, Waldo and Caradog in particular, and he's like, I'm getting paid something for this, right?
Yes. We hand him a sandwich.
Yeah,
and then I slide.
Buffet.
And then I slide a. What would be a decent amount? Let me. At the bottom of the rules list, there's like a.
There's like a little.
Like how much
guide.
a grift credit is worth. Okay, so regular gear is like 550 to 200 credits. So I'd say like I probably slide them like 100 to probably 200 credits. Like it's a good little job for us.
Yeah. He I mean, he seems quite enthusiastic about that payment. And he pulls out like a real. If we're gonna be real cyberpunk about it, we'd probably call it like a data stick or something like that. It's a USB, it's a flash drive, essentially, whatever the Green Horizon equivalent of one of those would be called. But yeah, it's essentially a USB. And he kind of like he seems to download something into it, and he's like, look, the coordinates that this is outputted. It's not close. It's a bit far away. It's out in some dangerous territory. So. Whatever you do with it, that's your business. I'm not responsible. Lists off some legal jargon.
Don't worry, this conversation never happened.
Excellent. But yes, if you go plug in those coordinates on your computer, look, I'm not Waldo, your new friends. They seem to be spacefarers. They seem to know a thing or two about it, but just. It seems like you might want to do your research beforehand. I don't know what's there, but I'm sure you can figure it out.
How dangerous are we talking?
I don't know, but this isn't in space. This is, from what I can tell, it seems to be, a void-ish sort of space.
Don't worry, we've got a brilliant navigator here and all about it.
Excellent. Yeah, well, I'm sure you can ask him, and he can figure it out. But Waldo hands you the USB, and he's basically like, if you head to these coordinates, you should be able to find whoever has the key. And then he basically unplugs the hard drive. He's like, essentially, once you have that, plug this into your any computer really. As long as the key is, I've already broken all the encryption that I can. Once you have the key, the rest of it should unlock, and you should be able to download anything off it, any previous ship records, any coordinates, that kind of thing.
Easy enough. Thank you so much. You've
Amazing.
Yeah,
always
no
been a good
problem.
friend.
Yeah,
good
you
luck
too,
with
Wolf.
your fungible. Your extra
Fungible tokens, yes, there's a big thing. Everybody's getting them. If you say you've got an image and it looks like one thing, and then you want to give that to someone else, you can just do it. You can just give them a copy of it immediately, and they're completely identical. It's fine.
That is so fungible. That's really
incredibly
good.
fungible.
That is so incredibly fungible.
Let's
the
get
new thing.
fungin.
Let's get fun. Yeah, that's actually a trademarked slogan.
Let's get fungent.
Let's get fungin.
Oh, dear.
Oh shit.
So I think with that in tow, I think that's going to be essentially tracking that key down is going to be, I think, your next grift. I don't think necessarily there's going to be much of, well, there may be a time limit on it, but not one that's like, I'm not going to pay you guys if you don't get it in time because it's you who are doing it. But next time we pick up, we can get into like planning for the grift and doing scenes properly and stuff like that. But I think for now, with the crew together and your next mission inside, I think that's probably a good point to leave it.
Yeah.
All right.
So the show we haven't really decided on like a schedule yet. We're thinking we'll meet when we can. Of course, this is something that we're all kind of just doing in our spare time to hang out. And have
But make
fun.
sure you follow the Green Horizon podcast.
Yes.
Catch up on
Yes.
all
Do it.
3 seasons that are out right now.
and the
Voiders.
spin-off, Voiders.
And
And Voiders, the spin-off, and keep up with our show.
Yes,
Yes.
you will see this
Yeah.
show on the Green Horizons feed and on, I believe we're going to be hosting the show on Faustian Nonsense's YouTube channel.
Yes,
If
I
you would
think so.
like to listen to it there. I don't know why people listen to podcasts on YouTube, but hey, whatever floats your boat.
If you want, we ain't gonna judge.
Yeah, so we're not sure when it'll all be coming out, but we hope you enjoyed.
Keep an eye out for it. Yes, and thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you
It's
so
been
much for
great
being
to
here.
have you.
Buy the game.
Buy the
Buy
game.
it. Buy it now.
It's out.
And do we want to plug other stuff that we're
$5
going on?
Be yours.
Yeah, if you guys want to go around and just like plug whatever you guys are up to at the moment. Guy, if you want to shout away.
Yeah, you can find myself at my name is not Kai, and that's Kai with a C. And
'Cause you're
then
Welsh.
you can, because I'm Welsh, you can find my audio drama Chain of Being at Chain of Being, and it's on all of the podcatchers. It's sci-fi but differently to Green Horizon.
Different flavor. Of
Different
sci-fi.
flavor of sci-fi, and I love it very much. Just finished the first season, which was very, very nice. It feels good to have done that. And this other thing, which I'm going to continue to plug, even though I don't think anyone cares really. I also do noise music as well on Bandcamp under the name Dinas, which is Dinas. It's all weird and very artsy, but it brings me a lot of joy, so I will continue to tell people about it.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah. Greg, you want to shout away?
Sure. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Gerg Candlestick, and also find my actual play at Ghosts_Train. It's called it's the actual play is called Ghosts on a Train. It's not sci-fi, or I mean it's sort of sci-fi, science, and I guess it's a Tesla punk sort of fantasy deal, but it's an actual play. So if you like people playing games, we play Ghost Lines, an RPG by John Harper.
Just featured a certain someone.
Just featured a certain
Aw.
someone by the name of Gwilym Pritchard.
Oh, who's that?
That's me.
What?
So yeah, that's great, and gonna eventually be on Super Suits as a ensemble member. That's good. That's here on FN.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
I'm
Sounds
Tony.
good.
I'm the marketing director for Faustian Nonsense, and I like putting together all this kind of fun stuff live on stream for you all. And check out Super Suits. We are almost done with getting in all the audio files and stuff like that. Production starts soon, so season 1 should be out sometime in the future. Where it's all something that a lot of us in the network are extremely excited about. It's been
Only good.
Our first big project, so that's been super great.
It's incredible.
And I'm Samantha Tata Calthrop. You can find more about my TTRPG company, of which I'm a co-director, which you may have heard of. We have a new project out just now. It's called
Really?
Maximum Light. You can find out
so cool.
about us on witchhatproductions.com or at witchhatttrpg on Twitter. or if you want to read more about my art and writing and comics, I am at Tata Calthrop, TATACALTHROP on Twitter.
And I'm also one half of Witch Hat. So if you want to see my stuff, you can also go to Witch Hat and stuff. I have a Twitter at the Celtic Raven. If you want to see me rant about history things or talk about some voice acting stuff, I'm up.
But Luke is not monetizing his hobbies.
I'm not monetizing my hobbies. So like,
lame.
if you want content, you have to pay for. We don't actually have to pay for any of Tata's stuff. But if you want content that's being like businessed, then you can go check out her stuff.
It's where you rant about Irish law, yeah? Like
deep Irish lore. My job is actually researching Irish lore. Like that's what I do.
It's history world building, but for the real world, is it not?
Basically,
come up with new mechanics for Ireland.
I said like sometimes I read something and I'm like, God, can you believe what they decided for this world? Crazy. I can't believe they made the British so OP. Like that's unbelievable.
Please nerf, am I right?
They brought in that nerf.
They're a bit over the top evil, aren't they? You think they've toned it down a bit?
A little bit,
just
but
getting worse.
An evil empire. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yes, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. And if you're not watching live, if you're watching on the stream, hopefully you enjoyed not watching it live and watching it from the future.
Have a good night, y'all.
Have a good night. Bye.
Ta-da.
And we're good.